That's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Arvanauts, to a new week. Welcome to January 5th. Welcome to our first new Tuesday of 2021. Believe it or not, it is 2021. We have made it. Those of you listening to this have made it through 2020. We're here, and we are ready for what is going to be, I hope, a really awesome stream as the first of a new set of gamebook illustration streams begins with what may be the epic conclusion of The Way of the Tiger Assassin. I am very excited for that. And is going to be joined, as always, by my incredible partner in crime on these streams, who I will introduce in just a moment. But before I do that, just a couple of reminders and one quick non-stream related announcement. On the reminder front, just a reminder, please, about ways to support us on the stream. If you haven't done so already, please follow the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. I'm really trying to get people to subscribe over at YouTube. It is free to do so, but it's just a way that will be helpful to me as I move towards trying to monetize that channel eventually, only so that I have a place that is a safe harbor in case something ever happened to Twitch. Not that I expect it to happen, but stranger things have occurred. So I just want to make sure that I have a place to go if that were to happen. And so subscribing over there is free for you, but it would definitely help me. So if you haven't done so, and if you do have a Google account of some kind, would love it if you could subscribe over there on that channel. !ArvCord is our Discord channel, which is well over 210 members now, and is continuing to be hopping on a regular basis. I love going over there and seeing what people are chatting about in the Discord. !Arv tweets is my Twitter, where you can follow me over there. And I always talk there about when I'm going live and about various things relating to gaming and streaming and teaching and writing and music and family, obviously, and, even occasionally politics here and there, too. So that is over on my Twitter. And, of course, you can find all this on my website, arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !Arv Shop is the area where you can get merchandise from the Infinity and Beyond crew, from the Adventures in Middle-earth crew, and soon to be the Esper Genesis crew as well, so please consider jumping on board with that. !Arv Treon is the Patreon, which is ticked back up again. So we're back up to 21 patrons, 187 per month, which is great. I'm hoping that that continues to go upwards. Obviously, we've dropped a little bit over the last month overall in the Patreon, and that really does help allow me to put money back into the channel. In fact, one thing I just got was I was able to replace the elastics for my shock mount on my mic, which means I was able to do that and also tighten up the boom arm. So the boom arm is a lot better. So hopefully I won't have to continually do the thing I do a lot, which is the constantly moving it around because it keeps slipping a little bit. So I'm able to do things like that and make repairs and also upgrades and improvements like my AverMedia capture card because of what you all do in supporting the Patreon. So please consider doing that. Also helps support my writing as well. Plus it gets good stuff for you as well, including inspirations and such. Yes. So, where was I? Yes, the Patreon. Oh, yes, inspirations. I have reset the inspirations, and so the inspirations are now current to help our players for what will be a very busy tabletop month to come. And so all that would be appreciated if people could jump on board with the Patreon. And, of course, the sub system. We have a number of new subs thanks to some very generous sub gifting from people of late, plus resubs from folks. So you can, in fact, sub the channel, which is really helpful. And that is very much appreciated. Yeah, sorry, my daughter came in and was asking me if I wanted any pasta, to which the answer was definitively yes, of course. I mean, I absolutely want that. Can I inspire my PS4 to live another 5 years? I know, right? It's such a good system, the PS4. Anyway, so yes, subbing to the channel also lets you get those custom sub badges and emotes and inspirations for the players as well. And on the publishing side, Icarus for details about my Icarus graphic novel, more details about future books in that series coming up soon. Let's see, library is Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That is my 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment. In print, it is literally literally on its way, being shipped now. It's in the United States already, and it just had to get through customs and then from the Tennessee warehouse out to everything else. So it is on the way. And I should note, by the way, that Roll20 just announced today that Espergenesis has become a native application on Roll20, which means that Espergenesis, the core manual to begin with, is going to be available to people. That's a big deal because it means that people, and there are a lot of them who just get the digital stuff and don't get any of the physical books, are also going to have a chance to get into Espergenesis, and that will hopefully help because we ourselves will have our Espergenesis campaign continuing on this Friday. So good stuff out of Alligator Alley, and I cannot wait to see that hardcover edition and stuff like that coming out. So of Tales and Tomes and other things coming from Alligator Alley in the future. And last but certainly not least, exclamation point Grayshade KS, my Grayshade Kickstarter. I'll be talking more about this in the next couple of weeks as we lead up to an early February launch for a Kickstarter. It's going to be awesome. I've been playing it digitally, but using maps, Echo, that I've basically copied from the PDFs. It's all legal, obviously, because we're sponsored by them, etc. But I've been using their PDF maps basically to do it. But this is going to be more like, it's not, they don't have all the adventures up there yet. So let me not go overboard and say that, oh, they've got everything up there, but they have the core manual up there. And the hope is that over time, they'll be able to do more of an integrated thing like I did for Curse of Strahd, where that was an actual module that was made for digital use. So like I had the printed book, but I also had the digital version that I had to buy separately. Side note, I wish that wasn't the case. That would allow you to, like, so it has maps on there, built in tokens. It had all the lighting set already. And so that made it a lot easier to run digitally. So hopefully that's what will happen with Espergenesis as well. Plus they'll have their character sheets built in and available for people, which is unique to Espergenesis also. So that's basically the idea. Let's see. And then I mentioned Grayshade KS. And the last two things, exclamation point BLM, Black Lives Matter, and exclamation point help. Again, the importance of affirming and asserting the significance and importance of Black lives, informational resources and education over there, and exclamation point help now, which is the World Health Organization's page on suicide prevention. Again, in a difficult year, still dealing with the pandemic, it is important that people reach out to others when they need help, both themselves if they need help and others if they see that those folks need help. So please jump on board and support there as well. All right, with that said, one last announcement here, which is non-channel related, and that's just a quick comment from me. He said, welcome everybody. A quick comment from me, and that is to remember that if you are a resident of Georgia, that the time has come for you to vote in the Georgia Senate elections in the Georgia United States. This is a big deal because there are 2 Senate seats, unusually for a variety of circumstances. There are 2 Senate seats being voted on today. And currently the Republicans have a 2 seat lead on the Democrats in the Senate. If the Democrats win both of them, then that means they tie in the Senate, and that means they have control because the president and vice president are also going to be Democratic. So this is a big deal today, and my hope, I'm cautiously optimistic. It's going to be a difficult run, but I think that there have been 2 excellent campaigns. If you haven't done so, please make sure you get out there, and you're a resident of Georgia, get out there and vote, because a lot rides on this. Now, it does not mean that if the Democrats both don't win, that suddenly it's all disaster, but it would be a lot better if the Democrats were in control of the Senate, because it would mean they would have control of the Senate, the House, and the presidency, and that means they can do a lot more things in terms of implementing a good agenda. It means much more easy for them to be able to get judgeships and things like that, and they can continue to be a more rational group than having a group of elite white guys, which is basically what it is, standing in the way of, in many cases, the world, because of the U.S.'s outsized importance in it. So if you haven't done so, please get out there and vote, because that's important. So you might need that help now, but trying to keep myself afloat. Well, I'm sorry to hear that's the case, Echo, but I do want you to make sure that you reach out to folks, okay? I mean, you know the drill on that. Like, it's extremely important that people reach out to each other. So, yes, please do that, because we want to make sure, we love you, Echo. So make sure that you reach out to folks here, okay? Because you already have good. Okay. Please do, continue to do that. That's a general message for everybody. So, so if you're in Georgia, go vote, make it happen, continue moving change, and let's continue moving the ball down the field. Otherwise, though, today we are back to a gamebook illustration stream. It is very exciting, and you can see my brand spanking new. In fact, do I still have it in here? Yeah, I do. All right. So I want you all to see here quickly. So these are my old elastics. Now I've had this boom mic and I've had this shock mount since I got the mic. This mic is probably 11 or 12 years old at this point. It's been around for a long time. This is actually, I got this mic before I started streaming even. And I don't know if you can see it here. It's not quite focused, but basically these elastics in quotes do not stretch at all. Like you just pull in them and they just do nothing. Like it's just a string. And you can see how like tattered they are and everything else. Even this one, which is the small one, stretches a little, but not very much. It basically is just given up, you know? So these ones are new elastics, and I have to give a shout out. The person who I found a video to help me restring the shock mount, because it's literally an elastic, so that the mic is not sitting on anything in particular. And I literally was like, how do you do this? So I found a YouTube video where someone's actually doing it, but the guy was really funny because the guy like, you know, did all this stuff, and he's like, as he's talking about it, like it keeps falling off the cliffs because it's a pain in the ass to string these. And he's like, well, and then this falls out because it's a piece of crap. And so you'll just have to deal with that. And this is a good lesson in life. And he basically left in all of the screw ups until he actually got it where it actually worked. So it was very instructive, but it was also kind of funny because it wasn't one of those videos where it's like, all right, well, you just turn this around, edit, and then you have your completed product. And you're like, wait, what? So I thought that was cool. Yeah, well, there's a little, there's a tab that basically attaches the elastic to each other, Echo. Like it's a little, there's one of those on this as well. You can't really see it here because it's on the other side from the camera, but there's a thing that always ties it together. These are not super expensive, but the thing is, I would rather do that than spend, you know, $30 or whatever to $50 on a new shock mount, or spend $100 on a new boom arm. You know, because I have other costs, obviously. But anyway, so that was the deal with that. But today I am very excited to announce, schedule wise, we've got this going on now, and then at 4 p.m. we'll be over at GOG for some more Vaporum lockdown. But right now what we've got is my amazing co-host here for this stream, who has just been kind enough to host me. That was the cue. See, she knew, like, you co-host and everything. And that, of course, is the amazing and incredible TariToons. And so, oh wait, I shouldn't have that cover up there. I should have this up there. That's what I should have. And I'm going to make sure I center the picture. So Tari, welcome. Happy New Year in public. We already said it in private. How are you? How's life with you? And yeah, what's the world like on your side of it?
Sorry, was just eating.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Happy New Year. Didn't know how long this was going to take, so I figured I could eat a bit of gingerbread while I wait. I guess not. So hi. What's new and stuff.
Hello, how are you? Sorry, I should have asked. Next time I'll ask, are you eating, before I come to you? No, I was. Yes. We were just talking about you know, I don't know, different things. But then I popped up this art. I told everyone while Tari's finishing her current bite that she's eating. I told everyone that I told Tari before, when we were chatting before the stream began, that what we should do in the future is we should have, like, Tari's new brand should be basically cute combat. So, you know, like Conan, but on My Little Pony, or like anime cute, but with a ninja. Like that clearly is the brand. And I think you can see, because what you're looking at right here, of course, is our character, Conan. It's important to recognize that's Konan, not Con. Conan. Cute combat, right, Triffid? I think, like, that's where it's at. I think that's the feeling that we've got. And so I feel like that should be awesome. And then when Tari makes her millions, then I can be her manager and all that. No, but he's like, wait, what? But yeah, see, I think cute combat, Tari. I'm telling you, I think this has legs. This idea, I think it could work.
Well, this picture doesn't have, so
the picture has no legs. That's true. So you're doing okay. You're in lockdown, yes. But otherwise okay beyond that.
Still in lockdown. Lockdown hasn't ended for a while. So,
never ended. Yeah.
They just keep extending it indefinitely. But yeah, other than that, I guess what's mainly new is that I finally opened up commissions again after over a year.
Huzzah!
Maybe longer. Maybe 2 years. I'm not sure. What is time? I don't know. So, yeah, that.
So how can people access commissions? Like, how do they get in touch
Oh
with you?
yes, you people can message me. I mean, if you are in the Discord server, like I guess you can just message me through there, or and if you're not yet in the Discord server, go join the Discord
Join
server.
the
I think
Discord server.
there is a link down below, I think.
Yep, and there it is. Echo just put it in chat as well. Thank you, Echo.
Thank you. But yeah, other than that, either through Twitter DM and also through Reddit DM at TariToons. So, yes.
It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, because I mean, you know, I say it all the time, so I may sound repetitive, but Terry's amazing, and and a great person and friend, but also a great artist, and you can see that from this work. Now, is this? I have to ask, is what we have at the bottom there? Are those flower petals or blood spatters or both?
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
It's like kind of like Pyrovision, where like everything is gore and blood and awful, but like she sees this at like in like beautiful pastel colors and flowers and cupcakes and do you believe in magic?
That's it.
In a young girl's heart.
That's it. I remember seeing I think it was when we were putting together, it was actually when Kilobyte was putting together the Hearts of Wulin intro, and at one point he's just like, yeah, so I did this. He's like, and then, you know, I put some petals. I thought I overdid it. I'm like, no. We need more flower petals. Are you kidding me? Like anything that's vaguely related to kung fu or, you know, Hong Kong cinema, like that. Come on, like you got to up the ante on the flower petals. You know, now in that case there wasn't as much blood and gore, but it always follows it up. Like even Ghost of Tsushima does this, right? It's flower petals followed by blood spatter. So you know, it's perfect. It's on brand. So I love it. So this is Conan, that we can all see, and Conan is excited to be back with us, chat, because we are in the midst of this book, The Way of the Tiger Assassin. Now, in case people are curious and have not been here before, the deal with this is that we have recaptured, previous to this book, the scrolls of Ketsuin, which is the guardian of the secret word of power. We defeated the assassin, and our god Quan is very, they're a big fan of us because God of Quan. And it's a good thing because we actually had to call on Quan or we would have died. But we did call on Quan and Quan saved us, which means Quan is now like no longer answering a cell phone. So we have to basically do the rest of this on our own. And we have to return the scrolls that we captured to their rightful place on the Island of Tranquil Dreams, which is a long and dangerous journey, for the gods of evil will stop at nothing to thwart your noble efforts. So that's what we have to do. We have to make sure that we get the scrolls back to where they're going. And we had a lot that happened here. Quan is strong, exactly, except it's KWON, Admiral Kirk. It's Quan is that's the other guy. That's the Bruce Lee, but it's only LE with an underline, so it's not actually Bruce Lee. That's the fake Quan. Oh, you want to know there, Quan. Also, hi, Admiral Kirk. And you're right, actually, Echo. It does look a little bit like my daughter. I think you can see little Larv just a little bit. I would agree with that. Do you realize, by the way, that we are 15 days away from me officially being the parent of a teenager? Because little Larv will be turning 13. That is absurd. That is crazy talk, let me just say. So yeah, she's going to be 13, and I know, Triffid, I know, I can't. And again, I started streaming 2012 when she was 4. So the chat people began to know about Little Larv when she was 4, and I started using my webcam about a year after I started streaming. So people started seeing her from the age of like 5, and she's going to be all the way up to 13. It's just nuts. Yes, January 20th. Yeah. January 20th. Also the inauguration of a sane human being into the presidency. So that'll be
Did
nice.
It crash? Oh my god, I think it crashed. No, we are good. I thought the program just crashed because. Oh,
I was gonna say like, wow.
Save.
Oh, thank you very much.
What is the date today? Today is the 5th.
Wow, super impressive. Thanks, son. Today is the 5th. Yes.
Yes, yeah, because I always save these with the current date. That makes it so easy to find.
Yes, no, it's right. It's absolutely. I was just brought by my lovely wife the pasta and chicken and full salad with homemade dressing. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I will enjoy that over time, chat, as I'm given sustenance. But let us get it. So now we know what there is. And she'll go off to fight the Empire with her best friend Biggs. She has to go to Mos Eisley for some power converters. Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully she'll have a better relationship than Luke did with his Guardians. We all know what happened to them, don't we? Yeah, too soon. Anyway, why is there barbed wire? What? I just was looking and all of a sudden we just see barbed wire beginning to appear.
Why not?
It was really funny. I'm just like looking up and all of a sudden barbed wire. Okay. That happens sometimes, especially now in 2020. It's barbed wire. I feel like this is one of those how it began and how it's going pictures. Like it begins with that one and then 2021 is the same picture but with barbed wire. Twisted happiness. Anyway, I'm excited for us to continue. So let us pick our music for today. Let's see. Let me see. Chat, give me some ninja appropriate music, game ninja appropriate music. And I will only veto it if we've used it before. Oh, we have it. Good call. There you go. I remember you mentioned that before, Echo. Mark of the Ninja OST.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me find the link and then I'll send it to you. Oh, come on. There's got to be a playlist of this. Mark of the Ninja OST. Whoops, sorry. Too loud.
Whoops.
Too loud. Do you seriously not have a Really? Yeah, Ninja Gaiden NES we've done before. And that was great because, but no, I don't want the full game. I want the OST. Why would you give me individual? Okay. How about soundtrack? Does that work better? Okay, I'm going to go to this guy. Wow, really? Playlists, people. Playlists. Do not give a bunch of individual tracks. Give me the playlist so that I might talk more about your awesome soundtrack. Okay, this has no playlists. You just have videos. Okay. That's great. Because the reason why is I want to be focused on chat and Terry's art, and I don't want to be worried about having to constantly go back and forth to constantly going back and forth to figure out what's going on with the songs. Yeah, I just have a bunch of individual. Hey, Palin. Do sounds on nature? I don't know what that means. We have the Beverly Hills Ninja soundtrack. That's great. Great White Ninja. Yeah, that's definitely what I want. Rubber Ninjas soundtrack. The Lego Ninjago official soundtrack. That's great. Surf Ninjas.
Oh, God. My nephew is like so obsessed with Ninjago.
Oh, man. I know very little about it.
Yeah, me neither. Apparently just that his dad has the same name as one of the characters. So.
Oh, so that's
But that
why.
is not his favorite character. That's a different one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which I think is hilarious.
The music from the Kasumi stealing memory. Oh, listen. The minute you mention anything relating to Kasumi Mass Effect 2, you've got my attention. Ghost of Tsushima, that's a good one too. Let's try that because I might actually have a chance of getting a soundtrack for that. There we go. Yeah, look. Oh, it's the full album. Thank you. And again, this is all perfectly legal because it's game music. Okay. Let's see. So, I will put this link into the Zoom chat. There we go. Okay, how's the volume, chat? That stealing memory is also a good, that's a good side quest, by the way, Admiral Kirk. Lovely. Now, make it a little louder later on, so if that becomes the case, then we'll deal with that. All right, so with that said, chat, you know the drill on this. Many of you do. You get to play this game. You get to figure out who we all are. You can see that we have currently 20 stamina. We have got the way that we handle things. Stamina is basically endurance in this game. Luck is fate, and we currently do not have any fate per se. Skills, we have several skills. We have Shurin Kijitsu. Excuse me, we have acrobatics. We have picking locks, detecting and disarming traps, escapology. We already used escapology once to escape from what would otherwise be certain death. We can no longer call on Quan. As I said, we already did that. And we've died 3 times. And let's hope that that doesn't continue. We have, under items and artifacts, we have iron sleeves. We have a breathing tube. We have a garrote. Always need a garrote. We have flash powder, flint and tinder, and a spiderfish. Spiderfish, I think, is one of those we looted this thing of weeds near us type of thing. Like, that's basically what that is. Also, I don't know whether anyone else has done this, but Little Arv and I have been playing a little bit of Animal Crossing. We have been brought into Animal Crossing Horizons, New Horizons. And it's pretty cool. I do wish that the co-op was a little bit better and was more split screen. But otherwise, it's sort of fun, and we're gathering stuff together. Let me turn this down a little bit. Oh, too much.
I haven't actually tried like
Animal Crossing
console co-op for Animal Crossing. Only like everybody has their own console.
Right, exactly. Like the local, and it would be easier enough to do. I think they could have set it up that way, but that's the only thing. So, too bad
well, you can do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just So my daughter was like, oh, so you could do it if you had a second Switch. I'm like, right, which we're not getting. I'm not going to buy a second Nintendo Switch just for the purpose of doing this.
Well, you could get like a cheap used Switch Lite, or what it's called.
A cheap used Switch Lite. I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Spiderfish does whatever a spider wish. Good work, Palin and Triffid. Nice work. Okay, so here we go. So we are here. Now, we had just saved a group of adventurers from certain death. You're beginning to hear this pattern a lot, saving from certain death. So this was the save point that we had. The magician surrenders his ring to the swordsman, and Thibault turns to you to ask if there's anything he can do to reward you for saving them. If you are wounded, he heals you and you regain any lost points of endurance. We already did that. If you came through the caves of the goblins, he notices swellings on your body and tells you have caught the plague. Praying to Avatar, he lays his hand on your forehead and drains the sickness from you. So we were also cured because we did this. So it was a good save point. This done, they leave the hilltop, walking east towards the Sea of the Star. You take your leave of them, anxious to reach a port where you may take ship to the island of Tranquil Dreams, which is, of course, where we're ultimately headed. Now, the question is, chat, are we going to head southwest to a way that looks rough and woody, or due west where the land is more open and there is less cover? Now, you will notice that I have the map up there right now, and let me see if I can, let's see, nope, not that, there it is. Let me see if I can increase this for a little bit. So right now, I believe we are trying to go, they're heading to the Sea of the Star. We're trying to get to the island of Tranquil Dreams. And I'm looking around trying to find where the heck the island of Tranquil Dreams actually is on this map. Let's see. Island of Tranquil Dreams. I see the Island of Plenty. I see the Sea of Stars. I see Quench Heart. Grey Guilds on the Moor. I don't entirely know where the Island of Tranquil Dreams actually is, so I don't really know how to guide people right now. I know that we came clear of the Goblin's Teeth Mountain. So basically, right now you can see in the middle of your screen almost the Goblin's Teeth Mountains, right? And then you've got to the northeast, you have this area called Alone. And you've got the snow wastes up to the north. And so I think what they're asking to do is whether you want to go southwest, which is basically over a kind of wooded area. I think you can almost see the extra green there, the wooded area of the Goblin's Teeth. or if you want to head direct west where the land is more open and there is less cover. So probably my guess is that west is maybe faster but potentially more dangerous because we're more exposed. But southwest would be more difficult, but we'd be more covered theoretically. So having said all of that, chat, let me know, first vote of the day, in chat what you want. Do you want to go southwest over the rough and woody way, or due west where the land is more open? No, because we're starting from the Goblin's Teeth, I think. Because we went north, remember, Triffid. So we're outside of the Goblin's Teeth Mountains. You can see the mountains are right there. So we're like basically to the north of us directly is the snow wastes, I think. So what's up, Rob? Can we go wagons east? No, that's off this map. You would go off to the east and then you would just enter an area of random something. So yes, what's it going to be, chat? West or west into the open plain, or southwest into the rough and woolly forest?
Go west.
Random disappointment. Aw, man. I've had enough of darkness, so west. Go west. Da, ba, 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 ba. Mm-hmm.
Steh auf, wenn du am Boden bist. Steh auf. That's like one of those songs that has like a billion different lyrics in German.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Like one of those like songs they sing in stadiums, like during football games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one I always think of is the classic "Ole, ole, ole, ole,"
Oh, yeah,
which I hear
too.
in soccer all the time. But Conan is such a ninja; they don't need cover. That's true. You could tell from our first picture that Conan is extraordinarily stealthy and secretive. Okay, so it looks like we're saying. So Echo says plains, basically going west. Triffid has not voted yet. Kirk says go to the forest. Caro says forest. So we've got 2 for forest, and we've got 3 for forest, 1 for plains, basically. 3 for forest, 1 for plains.
My stylus is doing weird.
Hey, Geester, what's up? Hello, hello.
Oh, that is fucking weird. Why is it doing that? Like when I try to use the lasso tool, it like puts the tool down like next to where I'm clicking, not where I'm clicking.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's like having to lead someone in a shooter. Like you have to shoot ahead of them to hit them.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So 14, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It looks like we're going to go with going to the southwest, to the woods. Okay. For 2 days you travel from dawn till dusk, gaining little rest. The hawthorn hedges and clumps of gorse mean that you must frequently go back on your tracks to find a way through. Your head is bowed in thought on this overcast day, not unlike the one that TariToons is dealing with, when a rustle of dried leaves catches your attention. You are walking down a narrow deer path between hawthorn bushes, and 3 brigands with drawn swords are barring your onward path. There is no escape through the bushes, and looking back you see 3 more move out from behind cover to trap you. So, there are 3 choices here. We'd have poison needle, but we are not skilled with poison needles. So we have 3 choices. We can either somersault over the 3 of us using acrobatics and then attack them, or we can use a shuriken, or just well, actually, that's not even a 3rd choice. We should not do that. Obviously, we should somersault over the 3 first if we're going to do that. So the question is, chat, again, just in chat, tell me, do you wish to throw a shuriken, or do you wish to use acrobatics to leap over the 3 ahead of you and then attack them? We talking whoosh, shuriken, and we have 3 of those. Shuriken, or are we leaping over acrobatics? Triffid says somersault, acrobatics. Shuriken just gets 1 opponent. It's true. Kara says somersault, somersault. Acrobatics. Isn't acrobatics always the only real solution? It does feel like something you would often want to use. Like it's ninja. Like, obviously you would do that. I'm assuming, Geester, that's a vote for acrobatics. So we have basically 4 votes for acrobatics. I'm going to last call this. Going once. Going twice. And okay, we are going to leap. Affirmative, okay.
Affirmative.
Okay. Strangely, I think that is what that is. That's really funny. Strangely, a pall of fear hangs over you, but still you sprint forward and crouch as if to punch at the leader's stomach before launching yourself into an elegant piked somersault so that you land behind them and can attack before they realize what is happening. Wacha! Okay, so chat. Now the question is, what are we going to attack with? Now for this, I need to call everyone's attention here to the options that we have available to us in terms of the ninja move list. There's our ninja move list. So you can see the various ninja moves that we have available to us, right? And the choices that we have are as follows. We've landed behind them, so we can attack using the tiger's paw chop, which is usually a little more likely to hit but does less damage. The leaping tiger kick, which basically you can see for yourself, like where we just, kick ass. Or the whirlpool throw. So those are the three options that we have. Tiger's paw chop, leaping tiger kick, or the whirlpool throw. I'm going to put that up on ArvBot.
Leaping tiger pork chop.
Leaping pork chicken wing type. What should we do? Do we attack with tiger's paw chop? Leaping tiger kick, or whirlpool throw. Also, we have to call it out beforehand. Tiger's paw chop, and then we do it. All right, what's it going to be, chat? Could throw someone into another person. True. Quite possible. Yeah, basically the way it works is that, so usually for most of these things, the punch, which is the chop in this case, is more likely to hit but does less damage. Kick is less likely but does more damage. The whirlpool throw can leave your opponent open for like a devastating attack next time if it succeeds, but it can also leave you more vulnerable if it fails. So that's basically the idea of the two things. And we've used the throw to good effect before. We've also used the kicks and punches. I think we've done everything. We've kicked, punched, and thrown our way through this book, chat, so we're ninjas, all right? I mean, I can't even see all of you. You're so ninja. You just so silently... Everyone's just like this. Where were they? Conan is definitely the larv. I should get some Pocky. All right, 3 votes.
Embrace the weeaboo life.
Oh, that's right. I have to get rid of that map so we can see what the vote is right now. Okay. We're all there crowded in the study with you, but masked, of course. Let me tell you what. If all of you were in here right now, you sure as hell would be crowded. That is the case. This is not the Death Star trench in terms of space. Let me tell you right now.
Speaking of the study, I thought you moved over Christmas?
No, we are in the midst of, we have offers in on our house and an offer in on a house ourselves. And if all goes well, then we've got it. And my office would be of this place, which again, I can't talk about much until I know more about whether we have it. I could talk about it with people off air, but not on air. But would be basically this attic area, which is finished with a lot more room. It's pretty badass, actually. It would be really sweet. So, yes. I look forward to being able to put not only books up there behind me, but also games. So, like, having the D&D stuff and whatever, like, behind me, that would be pretty awesome. So, we're not in the closet, though, this time. That's true. All right. I'm going to last call this. And... okay. Leaping Tiger Kick it is. Let's do it. Leaping Tiger Kick. Your leg flies towards the leader's head faster than lightning as you try to break his neck with the force of your leaping tiger kick. All right. So, that's what I like to see. We're attacking the brigand leader. Cut the head off the snake, as they say. Okay. So, the way this works is, for a kick, We have a defense number. We roll 2 dice, and if the score is higher than the number, then we have successfully punched our opponent. And the result is and then we then roll the die. Now, in the case of the kick, we roll a die plus 2. And if succeeded in doing that, then that is deducted from his overall point. So, the brigand leader, who is down here, brigand leader, has a defense of 5 against that kick and has stamina of 15. So what I need right now is for someone who would be willing to play only the leg. Yeah, you actually just like detach your leg and throw it, Caro. That's how it works. That's how you do things as a ninja. So I would like it if we could get a volunteer in chat. You can roll, Echo. Lovely. Thank you, sir, very much. 2 6-sided dice. And we are looking to beat. Now, remember, we have, at the moment, we've got 2 dice that we're going to roll here. And I don't believe we add anything to this. I think we just roll 2 dice, basically. And we're looking for above a 5. We're looking for above a 5. Sweep the leg. Well, in this case, we want to kick directly at the face. Punch the face. But I do agree with you about the premise, though. No mercy. Yeah, I mean, always sweep the leg. What, Sensei? Sweep the leg. You have a problem with that? No, Sensei. 5 total. You can't roll. 1 and a 4. It has to be higher. It has to be higher than that, unfortunately. Okay, so you must defend against his thrust. Your defense is 7. Okay, so they are then going to try to thrust at us and against the cut of one of his men. So I now roll for his men. Okay, we will start with this. Ooh! 10. Okay. You may block only 1. All the brigands do the same damage as their leader when they hit. Okay. And against the cut of one of his men, your defense is 6. Wow. Well, those are 2 hits. And you may block only 1. Now, the way you block is, if you are willing to block, you may try to block the blow and take no damage. And if the score is less than your defense given in that combat, you successfully block the blow. So we're definitely going to try to block one of these because that would be very bad. That's not right. I just re-rolled that one. Okay. Okay. Less than your defense given in that. If it's equal to or greater than your defense. Well, it was. Crap. Okay. So we subtract the next one. We can only block blows. Okay. So then they are now going to take damage. And the damage that he's going to do is going to be 1 die. Okay. So we took a grand total of 6 points of damage on that exchange. That was not great. Also, we only get, in this particular case, we're going to be rolling on this next one, but we have to subtract 2 for our next attack because we tried to block against those 2 ones. So, so here we go. We're going to try this again. All right, Echo, roll again. We need a high roll here. High rollers.
I am a high roller. Gamble my life every single day. One of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
You probably don't know it. That would very much surprise me.
I don't know. I do not.
No.
I do not
that
know that.
Is 2 of Spades by Ensiferum.
I see.
A Finnish folk metal band.
I know. So that's the sequel to Ace of Spades by Motorhead?
No.
The Ace of Spades. All right. Okay, so that is a 6. That is a hit. Good job, Echo. Now you need to roll again. You are going to roll. Let's see. You are going to roll 1 die, and you are going to then add 2 to the dice. So, oh wait, you rolled. I'm sorry. Wait. Let me rephrase that. Echo, you rolled a 6 total. That was what you rolled, right? You didn't roll an 8 minus 2. You rolled a 6. He waits for Echo's response, hoping against hope. You rolled. Okay. So that means we missed then because we had -2 on our kick because we had to try to block. So that means he then hits us, tries to hit us again which is not going to be good. Okay, he's going to miss the first time, though, thankfully. And his men missed twice. Okay, whew. All right, here we go. All right, success. Now, this time it's going to be a normal attack. So we can still try to, chat, punch, throw, or kick. So where we're at now is we've done no damage to them so far. We have 14 out of 20 stamina. And so that's where we're at, 14 out of 20 stamina. So we have to punch, throw, or kick. So, chat, what would you like to do? Punch, throw, or kick? We missed, but we would not have missed that time if it were not for trying to block the guy's thing the first time. Punch, throw, or kick? How much stamina does it cost to throw? I don't think it costs stamina to throw. I just think it's, it is, let's see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's not stamina. It's just that it sort of allows you to make him more vulnerable, usually. Makes them more vulnerable to a future attack. Basically. Also, and I'm going to suggest something else when we actually make this decision. But okay, so we have punch from Triffid. So punch, kick, or throw, everybody. We weren't making enough strange Bruce Lee noises. That's probably true, Kirk, actually.
Well, the Germans in the audience. Bat.
Is that what they do for that?
Really old internet meme, German internet meme, where somebody like dubbed over a Bruce Lee interview with this really fucking silly voice.
Okay.
Where he just like explains like how he punches people. So like basically what he says is like, and then I go bam, and then I go bam, and then I go bam, bam, bam.
That's funny.
So that became a thing.
Bam, 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 bam. That's funny.
Bam.
Punch, then we need to make a statement. Okay, punch, punch. Anyone else? Kick, throw, or punch? Kick, throw, or punch? Kick, throw, or punch? Kick, throw, or punch? Caro recognizes that.
Yes, of course. Because Caro is cultured.
Yes.
So.
Caro has a high level of cultural knowledge. Okay, kick, punch, or throw. Kick, punch, or throw. Kick, punch, or throw. Going once. Kick, punch, or throw. Punch him in the face with your foot, Triffid. I saw that earlier, Colin. All right, it looks like we're going with punch then. We have 2 punches, 1 kick. All right, 2 punches, 1 kick. This is starting to sound itself like a meme. 2 punches, 1 kick. Right, cultured and German. That's why you know it, Carol. I assumed those went together. I assumed if I say cultured, that automatically means German, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh. I'm just guessing. I'm half German. I mean, I'm half cultured. Okay. Kultur, yes. Okay, it looks like punch has won the day. So, we are now going to punch. Kick, punch. It's all in the mind. All right, I know I do the joke every time, but it's always funny. Okay, you decide to concentrate your attacks against their leader, but if you do not fell him quickly, you will be overwhelmed, for they fight with the skill of highly trained warriors, not mere brigands. Now you must count how many times you try to kick, punch, or throw him. Oh, man. Okay, so we got a timing thing we got to worry about here, chat. So I'm going to recommend then, chat, that we use inner force. So inner force means that we deduct 1 point from our inner force score. We have to do this before we roll. And if we succeed in striking, we double the amount of damage that we do. So I want to recommend that we do that at least once, if not twice, because we have to take this guy down fast. So, lightning speed. He has a defense of 6 against the tiger's paw chop. So I'm going to ask Echo, before Echo rolls, inner force, chat, yes? Are we thumbs up on inner force? Or as Bruce Lee would have called it, hata! Or as the Germans would have called it, bam, bam.
Bat, bat.
Bat, bat. Is it ba? Like a sheep?
Bam.
It is bam. Okay.
Bam. Yeah, but you...
Bam,
so like
bam.
In German, like you know how we have like some extra letters with like dots over them?
Oh, I sure do.
So like if you have an A with dots over it, it's pronounced eh.
So it's ba.
Without it, it's ah. So when you spell bam, you pronounce it as right?
Right,
so we just write it like the English one, but with the dots. So
bam. Okay.
that's bam.
I almost wish it was the other way, so he could be bomb. That would be funnier. Okay, so inner force, yes. Inner force, yes. Anyone else? Inner force, yes. Use the power of inner force. I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Force,
Unless I get use the force. Okay, so now you can roll, Echo. We're looking to beat 6. We need above 6 on 2 dice, and we're using inner force. So I'm going to deduct a point of inner force. If we somehow don't survive this combat, remind me.
How the hell do you draw folded paper? It is a mystery.
Looks like you're doing pretty well with this so far.
Yeah. I could be doing weller. Eh?
I see what you did there. Well done.
Weller done.
Wow. I'd like to subscribe to your newsletter. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Echo. 2 dice, please. Let's make it happen. Inner force. I can't say that I'm wearing my Bruce Lee shirt. I'm wearing my Obama shirt. So instead, it's just like, whoa, great president. That's what we need instead. No additions or subtractions. It's just 2 dice. But we will do more damage with inner force if we hit. If we hit. But will we? That's what the music wants to know. 6 plus 4, 10. That is a hit. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Now we are going to double damage it. So now, Echo, what I'd like you to do is you're going to roll 1 die, but you're going to double the damage. So 1 die plus damage, or 1 die double. See how much damage we do.
We're a little tired. Oh, it snowed here today, actually. It was nice.
That's cool.
For 10 minutes, and it all melted as soon as it touched the ground.
But there's a moment where you're like, yeah, but it was there for a moment. Okay, 4, so that's 8 points of damage. Good stuff.
It almost felt like wintertime. Almost.
Almost.
Oh God, and next month is carnival season.
As in winter carnival, basically?
Like Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Same thing.
I see. Oh.
But the OG.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
So that's not happening this year, I guess.
I was going to say.
Because we're still in lockdown.
It'd be a virtual carnival, maybe.
Yeah, that is no. The whole point is going outside, dressing up, getting shit-faced.
You could do that on Zoom, and it'll suck, but you can still do that. Okay, good stuff, Echo. So that's an 8. All right. So we did succeed that. Now we have to defend against his thrust as best we can. We did. He misses. Unfortunately, we did not. He did hit us. His men were able to hit us. And they did 5 points of damage. Ow, that hurt.
5 points of damage.
5 points of damage. Okay, so now, chat. Now we have attacked him so far. I think this is 3 times, I believe. So we only have a couple times left before, because it says it gives me this thing that says if you've attacked him 5 times and he still lives. So we've attacked him 3 times, which tells me we better get rid of him in the next 2 turns. So it is our time now. So we have to decide if we're going to kick, throw, or punch. So same question I had before. And we're probably going to have to use inner force again, because we got to take this dude down. But what's it going to be? Kick, punch, or throw? Now the kick, actually, it was easier to hit him with a kick than with a punch, as it turned out, just because of the nature of who he is. So it looks like, since kick also does more damage, my recommendation would be to try for either a kick or a throw, because a punch, although it worked this time, does not do as much damage. So kick, throw, or punch is the question. What say you, chat? Well, we haven't hit with a kick yet. We have kicked, but we haven't hit with it. And then Kara says throw. All right, so we have a kick, we have a throw. But listen, I mean, if we haven't connected with it, we haven't really done it yet, right? I mean, that's how this plays out. If we haven't yet hit with our kick, then we haven't really even kicked. We have not even begun to kick, really. Which way? So what's it going to be, chat? Kick, throw. We have kick, kick. Kick, kick, and throw. Kick, kick, and throw. Going once. Going twice. And kick. All right, kick it is. Okay, Echo, if I may ask you again, and I'm going to again recommend, chat, just let me know if you're cool with us using Inner Force again, because we really have to get this person down. So I'm going to recommend using another point of Inner Force. That will leave us with 2 Inner Force points, but we kind of need to get past this dude, because again, this is time sensitive as far as this fight. So yes to Inner Force. Or, again, because Kara was right, we didn't do this before, the ha-cha! Inner Force. Woo! Woo! 4 plus 4 with the hit. Echo lands with the hit. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Now, here's how this goes down. We roll 1 die. What's up, Elias? Good to see you. So we're down to 2 Inner Force. Roll 1 die, add 2, and then we double that. So 1 die, add 2, and double that. So 1 6-sided die, Echo. Good to see you, Elias. I think I saw you for fighting for Final Fantasy, but if I haven't already, Happy New Year. With 2 added coming up. I love it. I'll ask 5. No, that's fine, actually. Because that's so you got a total of 5, right? That's what you got with the 2 added? Is that what you mean? So you have a 5 so far? Five total, right? But that's before we haven't doubled it yet. So now we get to double it. That's the benefit of using Inner Force. So actually, it's a total of 10. Is what that means. Which is enough to WTF pwn this dude. Which is good because we were running out of time. So good stuff, Echo. We actually only had that one terrible early round. But otherwise. Okay, good stuff. Well, bam. We have broken the guy's neck. And it says, the brigand's leader lies horribly twisted. The others filled with fear at the sight of what you have done. Which, just to be clear, the way that works, chat, is that as the brigands see you, you do this. And then you're like, you know, and they're like, no! They have run in panic and are soon lost to sight. As you examine the fallen man, a rent in the cloth which covers his shield catches your eye. The cloth shows the black raven of the northern reavers, but you strip it away to reveal a silver sword hanging from a silver thread against a background of darkest sable. These men were no brigands. You have killed another captain of the Legion of the Sword of Doom. You search his body, but find only one thing of interest. Yeah, Matrix, the subway scene. Yeah. Yep. You search his body, but find only one thing of interest, a wax tablet containing his orders, to scour the borderlands between Dwaroheim in the lands of the dwarves and Harith Sea the Crow, and to capture or kill any ninja found there. So someone's out to get us, like we didn't know that already. You pocket the tablet and continue on your way towards the valley of the River Crow. All right. Good work, chat. Okay. Ooh, we got a big picture coming up here, too. Alrighty. I got a big in-game picture, which we'll talk about here in just a second. You walk on and, towards the end of the day, enter the valley of the Crow River. The meadows are full of asphodel and roses. You make your way down towards the large river. It's kind of funny because I've been playing a little bit of Hades, the game from Supergiant Games, and the second level you try to escape is this fiery, like, doom pit called asphodel. So I see that, I'm like, wait, what? Meadows are full of asphodel, different meaning, and roses. You make your way down towards the large river which flows west towards the endless sea. The fertile land at the edge of the river is strip-farmed. Each peasant pays a part of his crop to his lord for the right to a thin strip of land, in some cases only 5 yards across. Oh, good God. You purloin the breeches and jerkin of a peasant which you find lying on a rock to dry in the sun. Wow, so we're not only a ninja, we're also a thief. I see how it is. Then you walk briskly along the towpath towards the city of Harith to join the influx of farmers seeking the safety or excitement of the city at the end of the day's toil. At the great gate, a single guard in black armor stands stock still, impassive in the center of the street. He bears no token to give a clue as to which god he serves, but he lets you pass. Beyond the gate is a small stone building which flies the green and white flag. Your professional interest is aroused by a piece of weathered parchment nailed to a board outside. Now here's where I'll show this picture, if we can find it. Let me see if we have this available. Way of the Tiger.
Why does it tell me that my hard drive is full? I have like, what, 4 terabytes?
Are you sure that it's set to the right hard drive? Do you have like a second
Oh,
hard drive?
it's like my Windows partition. So
Yep.
I guess I just have to like...
That happens to me all the time. I'm like, wait, what? Oh. It's always a moment of panic followed by, oh. Okay, good. So I see them. I just need... All right, I need the right picture here. It's showing me tons of these pictures, but not the one I need. How about... No, it looks like I don't have this particular picture.
Sad.
That is sad. All right, well, I will show it anyway. So, I'm going to go to... Hey, what's up, Rudnell? Old news, old bean. Today we're discussing new news. Old news is on Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to put this up for just a moment so I can show chat here. There is what you see. The guard there dressed in the black armor. And then there's a sign, which you won't be able to read very well, but I'm going to show it to you all in just a moment. So there's the guard. There's the sign nailed to the post in front. And here is what it actually says. Head money. 400 pieces of gold and an elixir of rejuvenation for each of the heads of Tuchev, Cassandra, Thom, and Olvar the Chaosbringer, murderers and reverencers of Anarkil, corrupter of the family bond, who did on the 47th day of Grimweird in the last cycle kill Aurora, high priestess of the immaculate sect of the Illustran priesthood. The priestesses of Illustra offer their blessing and 20 pieces of gold to anyone who may bring these villainous traitors to justice. You pause in thought and then remember that you killed a barbarian warrior who called himself Olvar the Chaosbringer in Fortune Pass on the way to Quenchheart Keep. This happened in episode 1, which we did not play. If you would like to enter the building or pass it by. So basically, chat, it looks like we did kill one of the people they're looking for. Should we enter the building to try to get a reward or not?
A quick question, the dude we just fought, who was that?
He was just a brigand leader.
Okay.
So that's all that defined him as, was brigand leader. So what do you think, folks? Enter the house. Hopefully we can go in there and they can also be like, hey, let's heal you up. That'll be nice. If we get in trouble, we'll just throw our spiderfish at them. So Echo says enter, or Ridno says enter. It's funny that you mention that, Geister, because one of the things that we're dealing with right now with the house that we put an offer in on is talking about it's an older house, so talking to a structural engineer about a couple of things. And so I've been hearing that term structural engineer way more in the last 2 weeks than I think I have in the last 2 decades of my life. Speak bounty and enter. Enter, enter. We need some good luck. All right. Sounds like we are entering the house then. 3 priestesses and a warrior guard, all dressed in green and white, stand up as you enter. The guard's sword hisses from its sheath, but one of the priestesses, a white-haired woman with bones so fine she looks elfin, welcomes you. You tell them that you killed a man named Olvar the Chaos Bringer and describe him to them. The priestess looks interested. He wore a circlet which bore a blue gem on his forehead. Do you have it? You shake your head and the priestess goes on. One northern barbarian looks very like another. If it was truly he, we thank you, but we may not be so generous with the goddess's tribute as to give you reward money without proof. You quivering palm her to death. No, I'm just kidding. You decide to let it pass and ask about the other traitors mentioned on the board. The priestess presses her lips together, grim-faced, and says, They came to Harith, banished from Wargrave Abyss for similar atrocities. They worship the insane chaos god Anarkil. Anarkil, I see what they did there. And their only sport is wanton killing. They received the help of the temple to Anarkil here in the city, and were audacious enough to desecrate our temple and kill the saintly Aurora in her own cathedral. Thaum is a master of illusion. Through his trickery they escaped to the Man-March. If what you say is true, I am surprised that you found Olvar alone. They were said to be inseparable. Perhaps the goddess has taken her revenge on the others. Would that it were so. You decide to leave now before they can ask you what business brings you to Harith. Alright, so we got some crazy people wandering around, I see. The city is large and flourishing, but a surprising number of young urchins, almost without clothes, run about the streets in gangs. You notice that they are adept at keeping out of people's way. As you walk briskly through the busy streets, hoping to find a tavern where you may learn about ports on the endless sea, a sudden flare of light catches your eye. A wizened old woman bends over a battered cart which has lost its wheels and been turned upside down to serve as a shop counter. On the boards lie a great many unusual things, some which she claims to be the internal organs of exotic beasts such as chimerae or hippogriffs, useful in magical rites, look more like sheep's offal to you, but the sudden flaring of light is unmistakable. The old witch is selling flash powder at 5 gold pieces a bag. If you have enough gold and wish to buy some, we don't, so you may do so. Plus we still have some flash powder anyway. As you examine her wares further, a sudden tornado seems to start up around you, scattering the old crone's curiosities, and colored lights explode before your eyes, leaving you momentarily stunned. You recover in a few moments and you feel inside the leather jerkin which you now wear. The scrolls of Ketsuin are gone. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Whirling about, you see a tall man with very curly hair dyed a bright corn yellow, contrasting with the shadowy sable cloak which he wears, walking away through the crowd. They seem to melt away from him. He is far from inconspicuous and you follow at a run, but he disappears suddenly. He has turned invisible. Your keen huntsman's hearing picks up the sounds of his footsteps as he moves down a back alley at a run, and you follow. Well, crap. The tall thief's footprints in the dust show you the way he has passed through the maze of back streets, and you can hear him panting lightly as a great stone edifice comes into view before you. He runs towards its forbidding bulk, and you see that it is a great church with tall circular towers, around the outside of which spiral staircases twine like great serpents. Snakehead gargoyles with gaping mouths threaten the streets below. You see the door to a stable move slightly, and you dart in, past the whinnying horses, where you are in time to see a trapdoor shutting behind some sheaves of barley stalks. You leap over the straw and listen carefully at the trapdoor. The sound of 2 sets of receding footsteps suggests it is safe to open the door, and you drop down to a damp stone stairway below. The stairs lead downwards in the direction of the forbidden church. Narrow shafts lead up to skylights at intervals, and the man you were silently following becomes visible once more, running beside a man in a flowing gray robe. They run out into a large, ill-lit cellar and around a corner. You follow stealthily until the sound of a door slamming shut and a bolt-driven home stops you in your tracks. Looking around, you see this. Now, I do have a picture for this because I saw this picture when I was looking for the other one. So, all right, there we go. All right, this is what you see, chat. I like how the music did that right there. The music, this is what you see. Da, da. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Looks like Wormtongue in white robes, the man on the left. I know, right? Okay. Looking round, you see an unusually handsome young woman dressed in a bizarre patchwork of armor. Her face is hard, and she looks contemptuous. She has shut and barred a heavy oak door across the bottom of the damp staircase. It seems that rather than fleeing from you, she has trapped you. Your fame is spreading across the land, ninja. It is a shame for you that you met a friend of ours in Fortune Pass, Olvar, a kind and gentle barbarian from the northern lands. She smiles as the two men whom you have been chasing step into sight at the other end of the cellar. The tall thief with the yellow hair stands beside a magician who bears Kabbalistic signs on his flowing gray robes and wears a large gold earring in one ear. I was wondering which people this illustration was actually referring to, but I think it's that. So there's a magician on the left and then the thief we were chasing on the right. As you look into their callous eyes, you feel that they could not summon up a drop of kindness between them. The woman tells you that her name is Cassandra. Of course it is. The others must be the men mentioned with her on the board near the gate, Tyuchev and Thom, who, with Alvar, the man you killed when he attacked you mindlessly in Fortune Pass, murdered Aurora, the high priestess at the cathedral to Illustra. Cassandra says that they are going to take their revenge for Olvar's death. Tyuchev draws a two-handed sword from behind his back as Cassandra bears her long sword. Well, crap. All right, we have a few options here, folks. We have the following. What should... Whoop. Said no caps lock. Thank you for the sub, Brahms. 37 months. Happy New Year's to you as well, Brahms. Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good one. A peaceful one. Thank you very much for the resub. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Brahms. Let's see. So... protest, we have never... I love that we're saying we have never killed anyone in our life, as literally next to us is the illustration of neck snap. Like, literally right next to us. Our lives. Arvin E. Smug. Alright, so there's that. We can hurl shuriken. We can use some other item. Or, and actually let me see the attack. Let me see the items before I give that as an option. If we say it loud and long enough, it becomes true. Let's see. We do not have a gleaming sunstar ring, a dancing sword, or a crystal gem containing water, so we can't do that. Okay, here are our choices, chat. What do we do? Protest that we've never killed anyone in our lives, Arvin E. Smug. Hurl a shuriken, use some other item, or attack Cassandra. What's it going to be? And this time you can actually chat. You can actually vote in chat because I have our bot up and functional, as you can see. Eurasia has always been at war with East Asia. Cassandra is one of the people that was on that is with him. There's basically three. There's Cassandra, and then there's these other two, Tyuchev and Thom, and they were along with Olvar, who we killed apparently in book 1. They were the ones that attacked the temple. The person's temple and, defaced it and did all these terrible things to it. Vote 3 flash powder. I know. Use some other item. Actually, I shouldn't have said use another item. I shouldn't have said use another item because we don't have any of the items that it says. So never mind the other item. It really is just never killed anyone, hurl a shuriken, or attack Cassandra. That's my bad. I never should have changed that. Spent it with his son, who went to bed at 7:30. Got my COVID test today, exhibiting symptoms. No idea where he got it from. Oh, geez, Brahms. I hope everything turns out okay. Yeah, I wish that we could have used flash powder. I agree. That would have been what I would do. Just to, like, I'm Batman. And just get out of there. But yeah, so if you want to change your vote off of item is not a thing in this. Because the items are... the items you could use are Dancing Sword, which we don't have, a Gleaming Sunstar Ring, which we don't have, and a Crystal Gem containing water, which we don't have. So...
Well, what do we have?
Nothing that can be used as an item, apparently.
Cool.
Yeah. We don't have a lot. I mean, are we really going to protest? Wow.
What?
Chat right now is literally currently tied for first is protest we have never killed anyone in our life. So first is the absolute dead bald-faced lie. Like, the just straight out. Like, I love that idea, too, that we've got a sword by our side and we're dressed like a ninja and we're like, I have always followed the way of peace. And then you, like, put away your shurikens and stuff and you're like... like.
Well, I mean, we never killed anybody. Well, I mean, we as players, because we are the voices in Conan's head, but Conan never killed anybody.
That's true. And it wasn't even Conan, it was the fist or the foot that did it, right? It wasn't, Yes, I agree, Admiral Kirk. Option 1 does seem a trifle ridiculous, given that Conan is a ninja. Isn't your name Conan? It's pronounced Conan. And I'm a gentle florist who...
It's pronounced Satine.
Yeah. It's pronounced pretty flower. The entire word is silent. The detachable one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nike, the goddess of victory, killed that man. Yeah, that was not... It was Nike who did it. The sharp sword is for Ikebana. That's what we do. We just do a lot of work with bonsai trees and with flower arrangements. That's... Yeah, my name is rude and I'll pronounce Bob. It's pronounced con, as in a conniving convict, but I am innocent. Yes. Con, pronounced totally trustworthy. All right, we're going to last call this. This is the classic, the chat being like, I want to see what happens when we do this. It's so classic.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. Chad is pulling together a dragon spear, more or less. Those bodies behind me are only mostly dead. Okay. So, we have closed the poll. There we go. So, protest, we have never killed anyone in our lives. Arvany Smug. All right. You protest your innocence, but Tyuchev merely says, then we will kill you anyway, just for the joy of sword play. He and Cassandra... advance upon you from either side, while Thom, who's the magician, begins to mutter a spell. Will you attack Cassandra? Actually, I think that's all we can do, because we can't use Quan the Redeemer, we can't use an item, we've talked about this already, and we're not skilled with poison needles. So this is real easy. We're just going to be attacking Cassandra. That's what we have to do, because we have no other options.
Attack!
All right. You move quickly away from Tyuchev and Thom and towards Cassandra. She crouches, waiting like a cat for you to move, her sword glowing coldly with evil magic. Ooh, there's a picture of her. I wonder if I can get... There is. All right, this is what she looks like, chat.
Where is it?
You can now see it on stream. There she is.
Ah, there.
She's like waiting. Okay, so chat, are we going to try... I'm going to put up my little move list here. Are we going to try the Dragon's Tail Throw? You can see that in the second column over there. Are you going to try the Forked Lightning Strike Kick or the Iron Fist Punch? All right, so I'm going to put... Dragon's Tail Throw or Forked Lightning Strike Kick, or... Nice, Brahms, you enjoying it? Iron Fist Punch. All right, chat, what's it going to be? No, she's all about the straight armor, Admiral Kirk. Dragon's Tail Throw. She, you know, also I need to note that based on what she's looking at, she may not expect a throw. Like, you know, we could do any of these, obviously, but I'm guessing that she's expecting us to attack normally. So, I don't know. I'm thinking myself, like, if I'm looking at that and I'm just like, I'm going to kick right into a sword. I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, kick, throw, or punch. All right, going once. Let me last call it. Going once here. Going twice. Yeah, in terms of the what, yeah. All right, time to throw. We're going to see whether this works. I don't know. I mean, this may also be insane, but we'll see. Oh, it was not chat. I'm just going to pat myself in the back. It was not insane. You surprise Cassandra by sliding feet first across the floor, and your legs scythe the panther-like warrior woman to the ground. As she tries to twist aside, you roll on top of her, pinning her to the cold floor of the cellar, and drive your fist into the side of her head. Well, bam! She screams and goes rigid. You roll away and leap to your feet as Tyuchev attacks. I never killed anyone in my life till now. All right. So. You don't understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. Okay. Even as Cassandra tumbles to the floor, Tyuchev is maneuvering to strike at you. When he does, you parry again and again as the point of his sword stabs at you from left and right, high and low. He feints at your leg, then raises the tip of his sword towards your chest. Your defense as you try to block with your arm guards is 7. Okay, so let's see. Where's my thing at? I'm really glad that missed, because that would have done pierced our lung and done 8 damage if that had hit. But fortunately, we blocked it. As Cassandra rises groggily to her feet, you leap back and are about to begin a series of kicks and punches when the left-hand wall of the cellar caves in with a thunderclap, and dust fills the room. Yeah, I didn't fully get that either, Triffid. Something slithers heavily into the dust-filled room out of a dark crypt under the Church of Nil. It seems to be 10 feet tall, but much longer. As it approaches, you make out a hideous human face. Oh, I think I got your next drawing, Terry. A hideous human face with a gaping hole surrounded by feeding tendrils for a mouth. It has 4 arms and the body of a gigantic bloated centipede. Okay, I think we're done with this book. I'm just going to...
yeah, no, I'm not going to draw that.
A wicked scorpion's tail dangles a vicious poison barb just behind the awful head. Tyuchev cries out, "Spawn of the void, it is Mardol, the son of Nil!" As you stand transfixed by horror, the unnatural fiend moves towards Thom. He casts a spell. Yeah, that's what this thing is. It's a son of Nil. I guess, sort of. He casts a spell and a ball of flame leaves his hand, erupting into a fireball which withers the scorpion tail of the son of Nil. Dragonspear just subscribed as the son of Nil. I like that the son of Nil arrives and Dragonspear's like, I have arrived, I shall subscribe. Thank you for the subscription, Dragonspear. I appreciate it, man. 42 months. Wow. Thank you, dude. Thank you, and Happy New Year, etc. Although I think I've seen you once already before during Final Fantasy, so thank you. Thank you, man. Cassandra, it bellows so loudly you are temporarily deafened. Cassandra scrabbles at the boat of the oaken door, and Tyuchev and Thom retreat to the far wall. Tyuchev throws the scrolls of Ketsu into the floor, hoping the creature will stop for them. You piece of crap, don't throw those scrolls. Cassandra tears the door open, runs through, and shuts it behind her. A part of the wall revolves before Tyuchev, and he steps through into a tunnel beyond. Thom turns at the last, and you see that he is completely changed. He has polymorphed himself into the exact likeness of a priest of Nil, Mouth of the Void. He points at you and says, No, I didn't, and still record holder. Those scrolls belong in a museum. He points at you and says, Kill this desecrator, O Great One. This assassin has sworn to return our great god to the void. With this he vanishes and the wall grinds back into place. You rush to the oak panel door, but Cassandra has jammed it shut with something. You must face a son of Nil alone. Well, crap. Great. Great. Oh, thank you, Triffid. Wasn't that an incredible ending, that game? So impressed with that game in every respect. Okay. Wow. Well, we are in trouble, folks. We have a new boost challenge? Oh, really? This thing is just never going to stop printing. In that case, we need to look that up. Here, hold on a second. Let me go check that out. Let me see what we've got as the boost challenge, because I'm not going to see it on Chatty. These boost challenges basically require us to use channel points, and when we get those, it can boost our channel, and they happen at periodic intervals. So it looks like we got another one right now, which is awesome. So yeah, we have 2 days left to do it. We have raised 6,000 out of 40,000. So if you have channel points, you can use up to 2,000 of those channel points per stream to boost this. So, and I see that we've just done that right now. We're up to 8,000, 19% raised. Yeah, there's not going to be another stream. Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to do... Last time I was able to do a bonus stream, I won't be able to do that. So we're going to have to do a lot of it today. We've got basically an hour and 20 minutes to do that, I think, is my guess. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to stream anything else. So we'll do the best we can. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. I appreciate it. $25% raised. You saw it under points options, but not on the chat tab. Okay, cool. Thanks, Rudnell. Yeah, the game, I know. There is a lot more railroading in this, I agree with you, than in the other one. That's true. Okay, where is my... That's what I was looking for. Map. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dunsela. I appreciate that. Oh, wait, no, that's what I want. Right, there we go. Okay. So, we are here on page 396. Let's see. Use any of our items. Let's see if there's any items we could use on our travels. We do not have any of the items that would be used. We are not skilled with poison needles, but we do, however, have shuriken. And maybe we want to use some shuriken here because, like, that may be important. Anyway, so do we wish to use a shuriken or simply attack it? Because we don't have any, we're not skilled with poison needles and we have not picked up items that could use. So what say you, chat? Shuriken or attack? Directly. Well, yeah, Arudnell, and of course, coming after us playing Inkle, you know, Inkle Sorcery 3, that game book, of course, which is not railroaded, is very, very different, so. Okay, so we're looking at Shuriken. Shuriken, Shuriken. Sure, I can. Sure, I can. Sure, I can. Sure, I can. All right, so we got 3 Shuriken votes. Play dead. Not an option, sadly. Boy, these punks that trapped us in here with this thing, that's not so good. Not so good. Cthulian horror. Let's punch it. All right, so we got Shuriken right now, going once. that is a really great font on the words. Next snap. Going once, going twice. Okay, Shuriken it is, because we have 3 of them left. Use them or lose them, right? Make a Shuriken roll. Okay, so the way that we make a Shuriken roll here is, let me see.
Right, what now?
So it's a good question. I don't know. Oh, the blood of Nil is the poison that comes from this creature. That's not so good. Okay. Trying to find where the Shuriken vote. Ah, there we go. So we roll 2 dice. We roll 2 dice, and the defense is 6. Okay, so we're looking for above. We're looking for above a 6, Echo. We're looking for above a 6.
I'm really tired. Jesus.
We're looking above a 6. Yes, just an ordinary 2d6. Yes, indeed.
So what was that monster thing again that we are fighting right now?
It is, so it's called a Son of Nil, and it is, let's see. Let's see. 5 plus 6. Nice. Wabam. Okay, here's the description. Seems to be 10 feet tall but much longer. Has a hideous human face with a gaping hole surrounded by feeding tendrils for a mouth. 4 arms and the body of a gigantic bloated centipede. Now the thing is, this thing that we're fighting on, that shows on the cover, does not have 4 arms, nor does it have tendrils. I wonder if that's supposed to be the thing, but they moderated it down because in the 80s they weren't going to let you show that picture. I don't know. A wicked scorpion's tail dangles a vicious poison barb just behind the awful head. It's basically what this thing is.
It reminds me of that one spirit from Avatar. The one with so many faces. Ko? Ko was his name. Like he's also like a giant centipede with human faces, I guess.
Pretty much, that's, yeah. Also, a Naga is often described that way. So, okay. Anyway, so you decide to throw a shuriken at it. And you hit with it. So let's see the damage that's done. Like 363. Okay, so the shuriken embeds itself in the monster's face. Okay, so that means that you are going to roll 1 die. And you may not be able to retrieve it. We'll see. But you're going to roll 1 die. And that's the damage that we're going to do. So roll 1 die, please, Echo, and tell me what we get. 3. Okay, so 3 points of damage done to this creature as we close in on it. The monster lunges at you with its powerful taloned hands. You decide that it is impossible to throw the many-legged beast. Seems reasonable. So, will we use the Iron Fist Punch or the Leaping Tiger Kick? And again, you can see what the move lists look like. There's the Leaping Tiger Kick or the Iron Fist Punch.
Wait, this has hands?
It's like leg creatures?
This seems confusing.
Okay, so we've got punch, punch, punch. It's all in the mind. Good, Kirk. Or kick. So we've got punch, 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 kick. Okay, 3 punches, 1 kick. 3 punches, 1 kick. Wow. Wait till you see the endurance on this thing. All right, we got 3 punches, 2 kicks. 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 Yeah, there's no... I'm just doing this in chat on this one, Elias, because there's only 2 choices. Right, I think that's probably right. So punch. All right, so it looks like we are on... Oh, you meant kick? You meant kick? Okay. So then we've got punch, 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 and we've got kick, kick, kick. I disbelieve the illusion. So we've got 3 punches, 3 kicks. Okay, so we're tied up on this, chat. 3 punches, 3 kicks. We need someone to break this tie of how we will attack this creature. 3 punches, 3 kicks. And Mrs. Dunsel says kick. All right. 4 kicks, 3 punches. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Kick it is. Throwing caution to the wind, you leap kick and try to drive your heel into the unnatural horror's gaping maw as it strikes with each of its arms in succession. Okay. So check out this creature. All right. You'll be able to see it on that enemy list down below. So it's a Mardol. Okay. Its defense, sorry, wrong defense, is 7. And its stamina would normally be 30, but because we hit it with the shuriken, it's 27. So I'm going to recommend not only that we hit with this kick, I'm also going to recommend that we inner force this. I think we kind of need to. So unless Chad has a huge objection, I say we inner force it. And Echo, I suggest that we not miss. No pressure, though. Maximum force. Okay. Force, 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 force. Here we go. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Oh, man, that 5 was great. It was the one that let us down. It opens its mouth and swallows you whole. Game over. No. It does not do that. So we miss. If he still lives, he tries to catch you and then dash you to the floor with all his godlike strength. Okay. All of his godlike strength. Okay. That's good. Our defense against him was 6, and he rolled a 5. Woo! Okay. That would have been 2 dice worth of damage if he had hit. All right, so now that we have survived, we may now use the Iron Fist again, or the Cobra Strike Punch. So you can see that on the chat on the window there, we set up with this last punch for a Cobra Strike Punch. So we could now do that. So kick or punch, chat? Oh, sorry. It's not kick or punch. I take that back. I'm sorry. It's Iron Fist Punch, which we already did once, or Cobra Strike Punch. Sorry. Cobra Strike Punch we now did because we set up with the Iron Fist Punch. So we could do another Iron Fist Punch, or we could Cobra Strike Punch instead. Cobra Strike Punch, appropriate against the snaky monster. Cobra, Cobra, Cobra. Yeah, both? You can't do both. Cobra Strike, okay. You have to shout a shrill nasal voice of it. Cobra! No, Destro, I will take over the world when I get the chance. Yes, Cobra Commander. Hail Cobra. Okay, looks like we're doing the Cobra Strike. All right, I'm going to say that we use our last inner force. We're going to have to do the last inner force point. I'm pretty sure we've really got to nail this thing. We're not going to survive. So I'm going to suggest that we do inner force unless Chad has a huge objection. And Echo, I'd like you to roll 2 dice again. Again, we need to get over 7 with the Cobra Strike punch. Can I add inspiration? I asked sarcastically. I mean, you know, listen.
No, we need inspiration for different games.
For different tabletop, that's right. 4 plus 4 is an 8. That is a hit. All right, good. So now, because we have used Inner Force, which was our last point of Inner Force, sadly, now we roll. We're gonna roll the. It looks like I think the Cobra Strike is the same. Add or subtract your punch modifier. Okay, so yes. So what that means is we're gonna roll 1 die, but then we're gonna double it. So we're gonna roll 1 die and then double it, and that's the damage that we do. This is crazy how powerful this thing is. Six. Echo pulling it out is right. Wow, 12 points of damage right there. Blarm. All right. That was a solid hit. Great news. Now we just have to do that like 3 more times. Okay. So we have struck it. Okay. Now we have to, again, defend against it as it reaches out. It hits us, which is really bad. Okay. I did that wrong. This is not the This is not the right... Because it's giving me previous totals. Okay. 6 points of damage as it hits us. That's bad. We have 3 points of damage. We have 3 stamina left. Welp. Yeah. Ooh, although actually... Chat, we could try to block that, actually. You know what? I'm going to make the executive decision that we should try to block it, because otherwise we're not going to be able to sustain it that long. So I'm going to see if we can block. The last attack where it tried to slam us, we could not actually block. But this one, you are allowed to block if you wish, or to try to block. So, if the score is less than your defense given in combat... Which was 9 on the thing. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Rudinel. So our defense... This is not giving me... That right, that's a different 7. Nah, less than my defense. Okay. Sadly, not so good. So we're still going to take the 6 points of damage. Too bad. I was hoping that we'd be able to do it. Okay. So... Okay, so this. Okay, leaping tire. Okay, then we use the Cobra Strike punch. Okay, good. I lost my place, but we're back. Right. Okay, so now we could use Cobra Strike again, or Leaping Tiger Kick, or Iron Fist. One thing I want to say about the Cobra Strike is that the Cobra Strike punch does not leave us open. We don't do as much damage with it, but it doesn't leave us open to that slam. I don't think that slam attack... I don't know. I feel like that's... Because we can't block the slam attack. We could theoretically block... Maybe. We could theoretically block the attack with his fists. So... This is... No, we defeated Cassandra, but we're fighting a son of Nil, which is basically... We're fighting a god. So yeah. So Iron Fist or Cobra... So we could basically do... in fact, I can put this up on Arvbot because this is a choice of 3 this time. because we have Iron Fist that we could do again. What should we do? Iron Fist Punch. So we can do the Cobra Strike Punch again. And the thing about the Leaping Tiger Kick is just if we miss, it leaves us open. We're facing a face snake tentacle pull, basically. So now you can actually do your vote via ArvBot. Since we have 3 choices. So Iron Fist Punch, Cobra Strike Punch. Oh yeah, it's a $ vote for this one, Geister. And also a reminder for people who may have been away that if you have channel points, you can use them to boost our stream right now. We'll get a boost if we get to 40,000 channel points. We have 16,000 so far, but we have to do it in the next couple of days, and I don't think I'm going to be streaming again in the next 2 days. So any channel point boost would be helpful from people. You can use, I think, up to 2,000 channel points per stream. So if you haven't already done so, please consider jumping on board. Also, this picture looks like it's going to be epic.
So many points and I can't use them. RIP.
Well, you can use them for this, though.
Yeah, but I already used them, but like, you know.
Oh, I see, I see. Thank you for those of you who jumped up with those, the 22,000. We're now over 50%. We're 54% raised. We're over halfway there.
So what does this do exactly?
And if we get to the point where it literally we hit that number, then what happens is it starts showing up on channels we think you'd like it's a category on Twitch. And we've hit it twice before. We've hit the boost twice before. And I don't know, I'd like to think that if we keep hitting the boost that Twitch is also going to notice that, and that might help us for, partnership reasons.
Yes.
So that's the theory. It's cool.
Makes sense.
Because it gives us a chance to use channel points in another way besides just inspirations and funny highlights of messages and stuff. Okay, so we're going to do the Cobra Strike Punch. Okay. That's actually a good point, Arudinel. The people who came by because of that boost the first time, a few of them have stopped back again a couple times. That is true. Yep. So this boost is great. If you've got those points built up, I mean, these things definitely help. Thank you for those of you who have done this. I think it's cool, too, because we're doing it as a community. I mean, I can't contribute to my own cause. It says that I'm not allowed to. When I click on it, it doesn't give me the option. So...
Makes sense.
Which I guess is logical. Okay. So... I did this again. Okay. Because I can't buy inspirations. Yeah. We have the 2 reset inspirations now. And actually Polar no longer is doing that, but Kilgore still is. So we're using basically Kilgores instead of Polars. So, okay.
What?
So we're going to be doing that. The channel point, we have this inspiration thing for channel points.
Yes.
We can use 2 of those channel points. We can use the channel points to get a total of 2 inspirations. So we were doing that because Polar, one of my regulars, basically contributed. He was supporting at tier 3 for a while, and no, he was supporting the Patreon at $25 level, and he can't do that for a while, and so he's no longer supporting at the moment, and so that means that his, inspirations are not available. But Kilgore Trout, who has for years supported at the $25 level, is never here when we're doing these. And so basically he's also contributing them. I have to confirm it with him, but I'm pretty sure he's cool with that. So
see.
Arv has no alt accounts. What kind of marketing is this? Yeah, I know. I need to be more willing to do whatever's necessary. Okay, so here we go. It is time for the Cobra Strike. So once again, Echo, we are out of Inner Force, so we're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way by just doing the Batman. I know Echo's been watching a lot of Kilgore and Darksaber doing Batman stuff. So this is just the part where you just beat the guy repeatedly with your fists. So that's what we're doing again. So we are going to again be rolling 2 dice here. 2 dice.
I think this is going to be my last one for today.
Oh, I agree, Echo. And that's fine.
Okay.
9. Good strike. All right, so we hit it. Okay, so again, we are going to go with the 2 dice. Sorry, 2 dice. My bad. 1 die, rather. 1 6-sided die for the damage. Four. Outstanding. Outstanding. It's what I like to see. Okay. And more good news. It then tried to attack with its arms and missed again. This is still, I don't know, chat. This is going to be rough, but we still have an outside shot. Okay. So here we go. Back to the top again. I'm going to assume we want to stick with Cobra Strike Punch, but tell me if I'm wrong. Actually, I shouldn't assume that. So again, I will give people that same option that we just had. Same exact choices. Iron Fist Punch, Cobra Strike Punch, or Leaping Tiger Kick. It's down to 11 stamina now. So yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking, Rudnell. Basically. And if it's fixed, don't break it, or actually do break it if it's the creature that we're fighting. Terry right now is doing what I think we're going to call a signature piece. Right here.
Just a signature piece for me.
This is just like, because it's one of those ones everyone will be like, it's one of those wow things, you know?
Mm.
Hopefully there's no stale moves penalty. Right, exactly. Like the 4th time the book suddenly says, like, you've been too obvious. It takes you and rips you in half. Fatality. The end. I'd be like, wow, what? I'd almost admire if the book could somehow figure a way to do that. But okay, so it looks like Cobra Strike Punch is the answer. I don't really think I need to yeah, okay. Everyone's in favor, so close poll. All right, Echo, you know the drill. We need to keep fighting. Fighting for what's right. Fighting for the power of goodness and light.
For the right to party.
Have to fight for the right to party. So we can have no sleep till Brooklyn.
For your right to party.
Do. Ooh, I like the sound of Bullseye. Hell yeah, look at Echo with the freaking die rolls today. 6 + 5, what pow! Okay, so now we have to roll the... Hey, what's up, Day_? Welcome to... We're fighting the son of an evil... Or the daughter of an evil god. We're fighting a creature of an evil god. It's kind of not a great time. We're basically fighting 2020, Day_ right now. So we're battling 2020. Okay, but welcome. Good to see you, _ Happy New Year. All right, Echo, let's make... yeah, I know. Good luck. Seriously, right? Good to see you, man. Okay, Echo, let's make that 6-sided die roll. 4. Again, 4. Whoops, one more. Let's not cheat ourselves. And again, he rolls a 5. He misses again. This is still very, very unlikely, but... Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot about that, Echo. At least it's Georgia. I'm locked in Thuringia. Yeah, I hear that. If you have any channel points, Day_, it's true. Channel points for watching. You can actually, we have a community boost challenge going, which would give the stream a little more visibility. If we can hit 40,250 points, and we're already at 24,000. And I think that just happened, if I'm not mistaken. Just got up to 62%. Yeah, you did. Thank you, Day_. I gave you my all. Thanks. Thank you, Day_. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's awesome. 62%. We're getting there. We're definitely getting there. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So, running a game, Lux Arcana, I would go about prepping for a TTRPG session. Tablet, I can read and mark in the book of notes what I'm going off of right now. I think you should put it in a Discord also, Brahms, just because you get more people who may not be in stream right now who could respond to you as well. It won't take 158K. Can you imagine, Rudnell? You put the points down? Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, _. That's very kind of you. Can you imagine 158K, we just break the boost system? It's just like over. That's limit break right there. That's limit break. Oh, no. Gjerdum in Norway, southern Norway. Another landslide happened. 7 have passed away. 46 have been evacuated. Oh.
Wait, what? Another.
Another landslide.
Like, when did that happen?
I guess that must have just happened, Echo. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Because, like, I remember hearing about one, like, last weekend, I think.
Oh, that's terrible. Early this morning. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's awful.
Wait, are these all, like, happening in the same area, or what's going on?
Yeah, is it the same spot of Norway, Echo? There was a huge first one on New Year's Eve. Oh, geez. Great. That's great. That was the last of 2020, right? While we're talking, tell us if it's happening in the same area. I'm really sorry to hear that, Echo. Let's roll the 2 dice when you get a chance. Actually, I guess I'll ask chat, do we stay with Cobra Strike because we're actually hitting it? I don't want to make everyone vote every time if the answer is just let's stick with Cobra Strike. Are we sticking with Cobra Strike? It's in the same place, Echo says. Oh, jeez. That's terrible. I mean, I guess there's no way to... Is that a function largely of climate change and erosion making it more likely that we get landslides? Right, exactly, Rudnell. Glacier melt. Right. Oh, jeez. Such a beautiful country, Norway, too. I have very, very fond memories of visiting there. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where that, on top of each other. Ugh. That's rough. Portion of the earth is just quick clay. Not often, but it's just the makeup, yeah. Whew. Yeah. I mean, in the landslide thing, there's only so much you can do, right? I mean, I was talking when we've been looking for houses, my wife and I were talking about this with some of these houses that we've seen that are like up steeply on hills, some of which are quite expensive, looking out on like the Hudson River. But we're all like, do you want to be up there? Because she's from Seattle, where on multiple occasions there have been houses that have literally slide down the hill type of thing. It's like, it's a little nerve-wracking unless you're built on bedrock, So, yes, a new roll is needed, Echo, because we're going to be doing this Cobra Strike Punch. So again, we're going to be aiming for the same thing. Basically, just keep doing what you've been doing. Let's take this god down. I almost am tempted, because this is such a hard fight, I'm almost tempted to give us a save point. Like a checkpoint, like between phase 2. I've never done that in a game book, but I'm almost tempted. My God, another hit. I'm really tempted. I may do that depending on what we do here.
You can't save while there's enemies nearby.
I know exactly.
I think this one is gonna be done now.
Look at
is
that.
It okay?
Wow.
My hand is kind of starting to cramp up.
Yeah, of course. That's super freaky. And also, like...
Oh, wait, it's still mirrored for me. Oops. Like, I always flip the canvas in between each layer to make sure that it, like, doesn't do any wonky shit.
Okay. So you're going to flip it back the other way, you mean?
No. Like, you guys can't see that. And only I can see that.
Oh, so this shows the hair. Okay.
Yes.
So 5 + 3 is an 8. That is a hit. Good stuff,
I'll be
Echo.
right back.
Okay, sounds good. So 6-sided die, please, Echo, for the damage. Right. Yeah, Rudnell, for sure. 3. All right, we got it down to 4, chat. 4 damage right now. We've gotten this god down to 4 damage as we speak. This thing is still not giving me... It's the same... No. Okay. All right, it also rolled a 3. The reason it looks, by the way, in case people are curious, when this die roller is doing something funky where when I roll it, it doesn't clear properly, so it just gives identical rolls, so I'm not just rolling multiple times, I'm trying to get it to clear. So it did that, and now we rolled a 3, which is different than previous results. It is possible for dice to roll the same thing, but I can see on my end when the dice thing doesn't actually move, doesn't shift, that it's just not taking an input. So it may just be that I have to restart it, but I don't want to do that right now. So 3. So it missed again, which means we have a shot, chat. That's fair enough. Yeah, well, and that's a little bit different, right, Runo? Because that's bedrock. I mean, like, that's... you know the drill, man. New England, all it has is rock. Man, you ever tried to garden in Connecticut? Like, seriously, a lot of our gardening in Connecticut was just taking out rocks and things, you know? Inspire a save point. I think I'm actually going to give us a checkpoint here, just because I'm like, you know what? We fought really hard, and this is frankly not even a fair fight. Gardening in Maine, yeah, for sure. The place you currently live is built on sand? Great. Outstanding.
Hello.
Well, so here, welcome back. So here's the thing, Kirk. We can use an attack that does a bit more damage. The problem is the risk of not hitting it, because we're a real dangerous spot. So that's the thing. And I think, like, we're going to need to do 4 points of damage to it to kill it. Let me do a little bit of quick mathing here. So if we roll on a kick, we roll a die and we add 2 to it. So we would need to roll a 2 on a die to kill it. So we'd have basically our 2 or above. So 5 out of 6 chance of killing it if we hit on a kick. Whereas if we hit normally, then we would have only a 50% chance because we'd need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 because there's no 2 additional. So the question is, we have a less chance of hitting it with a kick, but would do more damage as opposed to, I think we probably, I don't know. Oh, geez, the underscore. So I'd say I'll leave it up to chat. I mean, it's the same, basically chat, the question is, I'm just going to ask this in chat. This is not an ARVBOT vote. Do we try to kick it, or do we stick with Cobra Strike Punch? I'm feeling good about striking the Cobra. Yeah, I'll move the ARVBOT away. It's a good call. Let's go with that. Okay, so let's see. We've got kick. We've got strike, Cobra. So 3 Cobra strikes and 2 kicks. 4 Cobra strikes and 2 kicks. All right, looks like Cobra Strike is the answer. All right, Echo. Keep up with Falcon Punch. Cobra Strike. All right, here we go. Echo's been doing a great job with these. Everyone knock on wood. Let's do that thing. Let's do that business. Take this bastard down. He is down. Who's down? Us? Are we the he? 10. Oh, the hit. Okay. 10. We got the hit. We need a 4, 5, or 6 on damage. 4, 5, or 6 on damage. You could do it, Echo. Echo aiming for MV roller, MVR. He leaps up. What's on? Ooh. What's up? Bam. Kick again. Max damage? Really? You're not making that up, right, Echo? You're not just making it up. Like, it literally says 6 on the die. Woo! Is that really true? No trolling? Actual truth spoken? You just channeled your own rogue character in Community D&D is what happened. You just channeled the Roderick, basically, is what happened. I took a screen snap. I'm trusting you, Echo. I'm mostly being facetious. 6 points of damage. I am shocked. Like, that's actually... We should not have survived that fight. Straight up. We should not have survived that fight. I cannot believe I'm reading the section if you win that fight. You have defeated Mardol, a greater son of Nil. This is a greater son. Great, you hear, not smaller son, not a lesser son. This is a greater son. Wow, seriously great rolling, Echo. You have defeated Mardol, a greater son of Nil. Oh, look at that. There's an actual... I can see the screen cap. I want to see the screen cap. A 6. It's a 6. It totally is. It totally is a 6. That's freaking awesome. He is not dead. Oh, great. But as you prepare to attack again, his form seems to crumble. Okay, thank God. Parts of his very being drop away, dissolving to nothing before they hit the floor. Each crumbling piece leaves behind a blackness so deep that it is almost blinding. Mardol is returning piece by piece to the void, and the void has come to Orb. Soon there is no trace of the unnatural fiend save a statue of absolute nothingness, a black gateway to the void. That doesn't sound good. You have unwittingly opened a doorway from the void to Orb, but there is nothing you can do about it now. Okay, great. Well, whoops, opened up a portal. That's too bad. Something moves in the darkness of the subterranean precincts of the temple, and you decide to abandon any thoughts of reward from the priestesses of Illustra. What? What do you mean? One who has mastered the way of the tiger has no use for gold other than to give it to the poor. The hell with that? Can we at least get some healing? Anyway, a goblet of black poison is all that remains of Mardol, the most virulent poison of all, the blood of Nil. You gingerly scrape it from the floor into a small glass vial. Note this on your character sheet. Okay, so we do have poison. We do have the poisonest of poisons. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Time to nope the hell out of there. All right. Then you turn back to the oak panel doorway and manage at last to open it, finding one of Cassandra's daggers, which she had used to wedge it shut as you do so. You slip it into your pack and walk warily up the staircase. Okay, side note, I want that freaking group of adventurers in the worst way, all right? If we find those clowns, not the ones we saved, but these people that just tried to trap us, they are going to feel the burn of this poison, okay? Also, I'm giving us a save point because God knows we deserve it after that. Okay. As you enter the streets of Harith See the Crow once more, you cast your gaze back to the brooding temple with its unfathomable frescoes of strange monsters made of beaten copper greened by the rains of centuries. You hurry quickly from the city of Harith before the servants of Nil realize that you have killed the son of their god, pausing only to stop an Illustran priestess to ask of the nearest ports in the shores of the Endless Sea. She tells you that one of the nearest ports is Ulrich's Haven on the great valley reaches, which pour their cold waters out into that sea. It lies northwest of Harith, but she warns you that it is peopled by buccaneers and barbarian coastal raiders. Oh, that sounds like our kind of people. To the west lies the city of Wargrave Abyss on the shores of the Endless Sea itself, which she tells you is a wealthy trading port, but also a place where there are many training schools for mercenary soldiers. You thank her and leave the city while the gate guard is chastising an old woman who has spilt her basket of eggs in the street. So, do we strike northwest for Ulrich's Haven, or west towards Wargrave Abyss? Let me show you what the map looks like here, chat. Because... Where's my thing? There's the Way of the Tiger map. Which way is the lady with the spilled eggs? I know, right? There we go. All right, so right now we are in Harith. So that's right in the middle of the map. You can actually see there's Harith See the Crow, right in the middle of the map. So what they're saying is we either go west directly to Wargrave Abyss, see where that is right on the sea, or we go northwest to Ulrich's Haven. And you can see that Ulrich's Haven is up there to the north in those mountains. And I guess basically the difference is that Ulrich's Haven is closer, but it is peopled by buccaneers and barbarian coastal raiders. And to the west, we've got Wargrave Abyss that's farther away. It's a wealthy trading port, and there's many training schools for mercenary soldiers. So that's basically what it is. So what's it going to be? This one is just in chat, not because it's just a two-person choice. So west to Wargrave Abyss or northwest to Ulrich's Haven. And yeah, I agree. It's too railroaded, but I do like some of the. I like that it's different from some of the ones, but it definitely is more railroaded than traditional, which is problematic. It shouldn't be as much. So direct west to Wargrave Abyss. Like, I like the use of the map. I like the combat in that the combat does feel more responsive to the moment. So it's not just punch does this, kick does this. But like the throw, when we took down Cassandra, that was just something based upon the positioning that we could kind of figure out. So I like that. Well, I mean, you can see right there where Harith is. It looks like if we're going directly west, like it looks like there's a river. It looks like we have to go past to, what does that say? Does that say the Tower of Curses? I guess we have to go past the Tower of Curses, and we go on the river there. If we go northwest, it looks like we'd be cutting mostly through hills and stuff. There's a keep there, Brigand Keep, so I guess we would not go to Brigand Keep. It looks like travel would be harder going northwest, but shorter, whereas west, again, looks like it's more, easier travel, but... So, yeah. I was trying to think about where we're more likely to get healed, but I don't know that we know. We don't have any money. So, because again, being hero for its own sake and all that nonsense. North by northwest. Okay, it sounds like everyone's talking about, we have 2 west. We've got northwest, 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 right? So we have 2 west and 3 northwest. 2 west and 3 northwest. Let's go Gary Crant. You just walk close to it and it's just like, mother bleep and bleep and a bleep with a bleep and the bleeper. All right. Anyone else? We've got 3 for northwest and 2 for west. North by northwest. All right. And Dragon is also having us go northwest. Okay. 4 northwest, 3 west. North by northwest only if we go by train. I don't think we're going by train. So unfortunately, we won't be able to make the reference. All right, northwest looks like it's winning going once. Going twice. And here we go. Okay. How do we... just before we move, I want to actually see if there's a way to... Yeah, it just doesn't tell us how... I want to know how to heal. Like, can we take the poison because it's so poisonous it will somehow circle around and make it so that it heals us again? Can we, like, eat some spiderfish? Anyway. Ooh, and we're up to 67%. Ah, we're close, chat. But we're also running out of time. We've only got about a half hour left. So 67% of time. 67% done, though, with the channel points. Snowpiercer. Oh, yeah. Okay. You pass through the town of Borton Abbas and leave the lowlands of the Crow Valley behind. You sleep well in the uplands, and you may restore any endurance you have lost. Yes! Okay, I didn't see that. You may restore any endurance you have lost. That is what I like to see. Hell to the yes. Bring us to 20, please. Thank you. Full health. Okay. Huzzah. After 5 days' travel, the port of Ulrich's Haven lies before you. Oh, no problem. So that was our reward. Our reward is we get to heal. The city is well defended against attack by sea, but there is no guard on the land gate. So you walk straight to the beach where a number of large galleys and smaller fishing boats are pulled up on the sand or riding at anchor. When you ask for passage on a ship sailing south, you have a little trouble understanding their uncouth barbarian dialect. But the gist of what they say is that no merchant would be fool enough to send a trading vessel to Ulrich's Haven where it would be seized and its crew put to death. As you strive to understand the captain of what is obviously a raiding ship, 4 burly men approach with swords drawn. They demand gruffly that you go with them to meet their liege chief. You decide to go along with them, hoping to find out more information from their leader. They seem satisfied that you will give no trouble and say nothing as you walk towards a long wooden building. Inside is a great hall with a large fire burning and a boar roasting above it on a spit. The hall is full of people, and a grizzled old barbarian with a cunning gleam in his eye sits on a wooden throne, his advisors beside him. Your escorts nod their heads in what passes for a bow as they halt before him. Will you bow or stare defiantly at the barbarian overlord? Oh, Lady Galadriel has blessed us. Oh, thank you, Dragon. I'm glad to see that Galadriel did that. So, okay, now for this, there's a picture. And I want to show this picture because this picture is basically... I don't want to say what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of a very prominent video game. I will just say that. So let me see if I can find the image. Grignir will respect strength. Thank you, everybody. We're only 30% away, a little bit over it. Okay, so I don't have a picture for that. All right. So I'm going to have to show this in chat. I'll be interested to hear Terry's professional opinion about this, too.
Oh, okay. About what?
All right, here we go. There's the picture of the guy. Does that remind anyone of anything? A prominent video game? An early area of said prominent video game? Whiterun. Exactly, Geister. You just walk in, he's like, welcome to this play, stranger. I'm now going to play the same character 75 more times. It's white, like, it totally looks like Whiterun. Even the slouch. That's what I'm saying. It's so Skyrim. Oh my god. I smell lawsuit. I've unmasked the truth. Skyrim will be, Bethesda will be sued to within an inch of its life because of my discovery in 2021. No one could have predicted. Oh my gosh, that cracks me up so much. Yep, so that's who you see right there. So, do we bow or stare defiantly? Okay, so tell me, chat, what do we got? Bow or stare defiantly? Okay, stare defiantly, respect strength, defiance is his language. Then you trade insults, then you clap each other in the back and go get a drink like old friends. Don't forget the chin check. I'm going to assume that means you're also staring at him defiantly. Exactly, Geezer. I know, I just was looking at it going, oh my god. Stare based on their looks. Defiance, yeah, obviously. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that. We will stare at them defiantly. The king's chief advisor, a thin man with a hatchet-shaped face, says, "Kneel, dog, to Liege Chief Ulrich Skarsang, overlord of this haven of men." You decide that you are not going to allow them the pleasure of seeing you kneel, so you leap over the heads of the nearest onlookers and quit the great hall before the slow barbarians can move. Ulrich's haven is soon far behind you as you travel south, and then west across the wild terrain towards Wargrave Abyss. See, that's a missed opportunity. That's a missed opportunity. There's no reason why saying that your response wouldn't be, will you agree that you will kneel, or will you leap over them and leave? Like, that's what Arudinel meant about railroading. Because all that means is that they're just like, so you have to kneel, and if you don't kneel... And then, yes, I just looked, and if you kneel, there's other choices. But, come on. Like, so you're like, all of a sudden you're like, I'm a ninja. You're not a samurai. Like, it's dishonorable to think about the possibility. Like, yeah. 24 hours, Norway has pulled together 5 million kroner for the victims of the landslides. Wow. That is quite a response, Echo. I'm glad to hear that there's that kind of charitable donation, but anyway, that just, yeah, that's annoying. Anyway, okay. Regardless, it is what it is. So we'll go to Wargrave Abyss, which fortunately we don't have to deal with traveling because apparently that gets done too. The road to Wargrave Abyss is a long, hard one. You pass through the towns of Chatty, Steeplefell, and Cheaping Knowe, spending a restful night in each. You may restore any lost endurance. Okay, we already did that. The road now runs along the banks of the Crow River, and you eagerly increase your pace. Soon you see the fields that surround... Yeah. No, that's cool, Echo. That surround the city of Wargrave Abbess. The city itself is on an island in the delta of the river. Just north of the gates is a beautiful public garden. Curbing your impatience to see the sea, you decide to sit on a low wooden bench to meditate. To your surprise, a monk bearing the celestial symbol of Quan the Redeemer passes by. It's our boy Quan. You follow him through a stand of rhododendron bushes, and a cloistered monastery comes into sight. You step inside, shed your peasant's garb, and bow deeply to the Grand Master Hardred. So there we don't have a problem bowing, I guess. Yeah, exactly, Arudnell. Yeah, because it's actually not a bad story. You pray in a temple filled with flowers, and your spirit feels lighter. You regain 1 point of inner force. Hell yeah, we have inner forces returned. You feel the Bruce Lee fill us. Cool. Telling Hardred of your mission lifts a great weight off your mind. He says he has heard rumors and that he is honored to have you with him. He tells you that you look a little haggard and suggests that you stay in the monastery while he arranges for passage on a ship sailing south. That's good. You accept gracefully, telling him that you would like to call at the port of Tor to see the Ranger Lord Glavis, who first told you of the whereabouts of Yemen, Grand Master of Flame, if that is possible. Hardred smiles and says that if it is possible, it shall be accomplished. He even suggests that you leave the scrolls of Ketsuin in his care, but you decline, saying that the gamebook isn't over. No, he declines, saying that their rightful place is in the Temple of the Rock. Your sleep that night is filled with pleasant dreams of your homeland. Cool. You spend 2 very pleasant days in the gardens of the monastery where the children of the city dwellers come to play. You talk to the monks and learn of the city of Wargrave Abbess. It has a strong mercenary tradition. Young men and women come from lands far away to learn the skills of swordplay taught by the worshippers of Dama, shield maiden of the gods. Dama stands opposite the evil war god Vash Ro in the Garden of the Gods, and it was she whom Honoric, the captain of the Legion of the Sword of Doom, sought to imprison in Inferno when he undertook his journey towards the Pillars of Change with Yemen, Grand Master of Flame. Everyone got that, or would you like me to drop some more names in 3 sentences? Wargrave is also a thriving trading port, exporting grain and wool to southern lands. One thing only strikes a sour note. The assassins who revere Tora Malku the Slayer have long had a guild where anyone may go to put a price on the head of an innocent man. The worshippers of Tora Malku, swift sure bringer of death to beggar and king, care nothing for life or for death, only for the artistry with which they kill. They pride themselves that few who are brought to their attention live for long if the price is right. It is their law that none save members of their guild may use poison for any purpose. None but themselves, okay? Resting in the shade of a plane tree, you muse on the quirk of fate that left you an orphan to be brought up to the worship of Quan. Yeah, exactly, Admiral Kirk. You have never known any other god, yet there are many on Orb. You despise the assassins who worship Toramalku because they kill for money, not to rid the world of evil. Yet you have killed many times without a qualm, just as they would kill you if they were paid to. Except that we weren't paid to kill, so I don't know what the... Anyway. If you would like to leave your poison in the monastery and visit the temple to Toramalku the Slayer to talk to Mandrake, the guild master of assassins, and then it says in parentheses, you may be able to learn new skills, you can do that. Or do you prefer to relax in the quiet of the gardens? Yeah, that's true, Triffid. That's interesting, chat. So 2 choices. We go talk to the Assassin's Guild. Yeah, exactly. We've never killed in our lives. We go talk to the Assassin's Guild and see about learning new skills. We have to leave our poison in the monastery and go do that. Or we relax in the quiet of the gardens. Yeah, I don't know if you have to permanently leave the poison or just for the moment. You know? I don't know. Yeah, I think the reason that you leave it behind is to visit the assassins to gain skills. That's the theory. So I don't know. So you can say it that way. I mean, like, it may be that we go and we can't come back. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly don't know. Let's see. So we have leave the poison, keep the poison. So 2 for leave, 1 for keep. 2 for leave, 2 for keep. 3 for leave, 2 for keep. 4 for leave, 2 for keep. I honestly don't know, Echo, though. It is definitely a theory, though. Be aware. It may very well be that this means we lose the poison. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I know. It does make you wonder about that. All we need is Cobra Punch. Cobra Punch solves all. All we need is Cobra Punch. Cobra Punch does whatever a Cobra Punch does. All right, so going once, going twice. All right, we're going to go talk to the Assassin's Guild. And programming note, by the way, we're going to go for about another 10 to 15 minutes. And then we will wrap and we'll have Terry go over her amazing drawings as we usually do. And we'll talk about prep for this. We're either going to finish the book today or we will definitely finish it in our next session. And then we'll move to another series at that point. We have multiple other ones to choose. We've been thinking about the possibility of going back to the Fighting Fantasy game books because we have been away from them for a while now. But yeah, so we will think about that. Okay, so we are going to depart and go to the Assassins. Yeah, is it any good, Dragon? You walk from the peace of the gardens to the unguarded gate into Wargrave itself. You pass a barracks on your left and a tavern called the Sword Arms Rest on your right. You stop an old washerwoman. Also, I think we probably should set a save point, by the way, at this too, because we got the monastery and the whole business there. So, okay, yeah, a little bit. The concept of it is cool. Also, the Lone Wolf books were amazing too. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've heard good things about that. I saw much of the first season, but let's see. You stop an old washerwoman in the street, ask the way the Assassin's Guild. She blenches white with fear and runs from you. You ask a soldier, but he pretends not to hear. It is the same wherever you go until you begin to feel you will never find your way to Mandrake. At last, a young man drops a pebble in the street near your foot. You stoop and pick it up. 2 words are scrawled in charcoal on it. Follow me. Will you follow the young man who is dressed in rough woolen homespun jacket and baggy trousers, or give up on your quest for new skills and return to the monastery gardens? So what do we think? Do we keep following, to the Assassin's Guild, or do we return to the monastery gardens? Okay, Echo says to keep following. Eyeshield says keep following. Brahm says keep following. 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 We better get something out of leaving the poison behind. Okay, it sounds like chat wants to continue to follow. I would have assumed so. Cobra Punch is the answer to everything. Okay. The young man does not look back once. He leads you by devious ways through the streets of the city. A person with a less well-developed sense of direction would have been utterly confused. At last you stand before what looks like the back of an old grain warehouse. The young man beckons you through a long wooden doorway. Determined to follow your quest for new skills through, you stoop and step through. You step through into near darkness. As your eyes quickly become accustomed to the light, you realize that the young man has slipped away, but the sight that greets your gaze is breathtaking. What had looked like nothing more than a broken-down warehouse from the street, which you had passed earlier without a second thought, is in fact the temple to the god of assassins, Toramalku the Slayer. There is gold and silver everywhere, the coinage of murder melted into fair-seeming candelabra and altar ornaments. In the center of the dark hall is a great effigy of the god himself. It is dressed in a quilted black leather jerkin and tight black velvet trousers with an executioner's mask. It has 4 arms like the son of Nil, but one holds a dagger dripping white venom, another a purple jade cup of poison, a third a crossbow with a rune-written bolt and the name every man scored upon it in silver, while the fourth holds a box of curses. As you study the statue, a man dressed in conscious imitation of it approaches and introduces himself as Mandrake. So, here's the thing. Let's find... Okay. I want to show you all. I really hope they have a picture of this, because this is not the image well, you'll see. I don't know if there's a picture of it or not. Looks like there may not be. Okay, yeah. So I will do one of the classics. Okay. Here's the dude. He's just like, yo. That's the guy. And it actually describes him that way a little bit as well, as you'll see for a moment, but it's like, that's our guy. So he says, to your surprise, he has an open, friendly face and a sandy mop of wayward hair. He stands next to the altar. Do you still feel confident enough to trade skill for skill with Mandrake? Or do you suddenly feel you would be better off out of the temple and flee in fear? So are we going to trade skills with Mandrake, or are we going to flee? You need skills. Okay. So I'm glad that we did a save point. Master ceremonies at the local Renaissance fair. I'm glad we did a save point, because Arudinel is going to love this. Okay? Get ready. Arudinel is going to love this. It's funny, too, because, you know, the opening half of this book was not this railroaded, but the second half is very, very railroady. So check this out. You announce bravely that you are a ninja, an able assassin, and you offer to trade skills. Mandrake's hand moves on the altar, and a noise above prompts you to dive to your left in case of a trap. It is to no avail. Yeah, I mean, like, well, but okay, but here's the thing, though. This is just, I mean, we don't have a lot of railroady games on the stream. Most of the game books are fine. So it's okay to have an occasional one like that. So, like, this one is just very railroady. But, you know, Car Wars and this one may have been both that way. But definitely the Lone Wolf books were not, and the Fighting Fantasy were not, and the Sorcery is not. So I think mostly it's fine. An occasional railroad book is fine, but this is very railroady. Anyway, it is to no avail. A huge net descends over the area in which you have been standing, trapping you in its mesh. As you watch helplessly, the effigy of the assassin's god, Toramalku the Slayer, comes to life. It leans towards you, and the box of curses which it holds in its fourth hand flies open. You are afflicted by... You are afflicted by every disease known to man, and you are dead within the minute. But not before Mandrake says, Honoric will be pleased. He still lives, ninja, and I have earned 5,000 golds. It was nice of you to come to me, although I was looking forward to a stroll in the gardens of the monastery to Quan this afternoon. You die at his feet, and he will sell the scrolls of Ketsuin to Honoric if he really still lives for 2 kings' ransoms. You have failed. I mean, that's just that's just nonsense. I'm not even going to add that to the death count. That's a joke. I think the only thing that I can say is that they kept giving you ways to turn away from it, but it could very easily have been played. No, we're not going to end the session with failure. We're going to end with one other last decision before we finish up the session. I'm not going to end on that note, but it's just not necessary. Like, come on, give people a choice, or don't Or I mean, like they said the assassins are one sour note, but they could have said more about like and are extremely devious and treacherous. Something like we are also assassins, you know, like that's silly talk. Yeah, no. All right, so we're gonna relax in the quiet of the gardens. I'm not even gonna add that to the death total. That's silly. Okay. As you sit cross-legged, we're gonna end the chat this way, this session this way. And then, as I said, we're almost to the end of this game book anyway. As you sit cross-legged, musing on the ways of the world, you catch sight of the bald head of one of the monks. He rounds a large magnolia tree and walks towards you, smiling a greeting. It is Hardred, the Grand Master of the Temple to Quan. A ship? You ask hopefully. Hardred nods his head and reaches inside his brown habit. Something about him seems different today, though. Perhaps his carriage or the way he has tied the knot at the front of his habit. Will you risk upsetting him, reacting as if he were an assassin? Or will you believe that your thoughts of Toramalku the Slayer have made you nervous and merely stay alert? So, are you going to react as an assassin? Yeah, I wondered about that too. React as if he was an assassin, or just be like, oh, whatever. Meta-knowledge react. I know, Ice Shield. I know, exactly, because you were paying attention to what they said. I know. Reacting to... because something's different about him, the way that it describes it, Echo. It's different. It's not what we would have expected, according to what the book says. React, react, react. React. Yeah, I don't know with the meta knowledge if I would have reacted anyway. I might have, because it's going to give you options here. So, what will you do as the smiling Hardred approaches? Okay, so everyone's going to react. Poison Needle we can't do. We've already called upon Quan, but we do have 3 other choices that we can have. If you are a skilled acrobat, and we are, you may wish to leap upwards and grab an overhanging branch to pull yourself into the tree. So, leap into a tree using acrobatics. Hurl a shuriken at his leg, because we do have one. Or roll to one side and stand up. Leap into a tree. I mean, I guess the way I would look at it is, if it is Hardred, then we just leap into a tree and we would be like, oh, I was just testing my monastery skills, my brother. I was just checking the tree to be safe. I just, you know. So what's it going to be? Leap into a tree using acrobatics, hurl a shuriken at his leg, or roll to one side and stand up. Oh, cool, Brahms. All right, I'm going to last call because it sounds like people want to leap into a tree. I feel like we've gotten a lot out of the acrobatic skill in this game, by the way. Oh, beg your pardon. I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, my bad. And let me get rid of that Way of the Tiger map too. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Leap into tree using acrobatics. Going once, going twice. Okay. We leap up. We grab the branch. With the agility of a spider monkey, you launch yourself at the branch and swing up amongst the leaves of the tree, just as an envenomed dagger hurtles beneath you. Well, dang. The man posing as Hardred gapes for a moment, then turns to run. You drop down from the tree and follow, but the gardener with whom you exchanged pleasantries this morning emerges from behind the magnolia tree, blocking your way. On the steps of the temple, the real Hardred beckons urgently. You run to him, but he says, "Gently, yes, but good news. A ship sails for Tor on the evening tide. I can vouch for the master." You look around, but the impostor is fled and the gardener is nowhere to be seen. Hardred takes you inside the monastery and you tell him what has happened. It becomes obvious to him that Mandrake, a master of disguise, has been commissioned to murder you. You waste no time in hurrying with an armed escort to the port, where a sleek merchantman, the winged serpent, rides at anchor. Hardred gives you a parting gift of 5 shuriken. Hey there. We got 7 shuriken. And says that he will pray for you daily. He tells you that the ship will take you to Lemne on the Island of Plenty, where many worship Eo, the god of peace and well-being. You thank him and thank Quan before concealing yourself below deck. And that is where we are going to end it, and that's a lot better ending than the other one would have been. So we will definitely wrap this next time, folks. And yeah, listen, it's an experiment. I mean, I don't, obviously, it's been so long since I've played any of these. I don't remember, except for the big ones like the sorcery books, but I don't remember the assassin at all. I probably played it once when I was younger. So, it's an experiment, and we'll finish it up and then we'll move on to something else, But and as I say, the story's not bad, and I think it's an interesting world building exercise, but it is too railroaded. But that's, I said, experiment, and we'll work that out later. So, okay, so that means before we close up shop, we get a chance to go over our illustrations. Let me remind everybody, if you're coming here for the first time and you have any extra channel points, boosting the channel would be appreciated because we're trying to get a boost to the stream. That would be lovely. And yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if we're sailing to the Aegean or not. We will find out when we go back here because it is right here. And we are going to be heading to Lemne. So we're going to be heading to the Island of Plenty. You can actually see as an arrow to the west side of the map. Like right there, you can see it says to the Island of Plenty. So we're sailing that way. So we've made good progress. It's just progress that was largely, partially railroaded progress. But we also beat a god that we had no business defeating, and we did that too. So that was also a good day. All right. So let us talk about the amazing artwork we had today. So Tari, lead us through the amazingness of the illustrations today.
Yes. Hi. So this was the warm-up drawing, which totally has nothing weird going on with it. So, that is nice.
I didn't see that you could do a super deluxe presto changeo. Do that again.
It's slightly all wonderful. A bit laggy.
January 2020, January 2021. That's freaking awesome. Okay. I love it. Those are great.
Oh, oops.
What? There. Okay. Then here's where where she's trying to figure out the map because, it was very confusing. And I guess we know where we're going that way. I love that one.
Yes.
Oh, and I see the islands at the top of the map. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. Then the next snap.
Next snap.
That one is stolen though from. Do I still have the tab open? Yes, I do. From the Team Fortress 2 comics.
Oh, is it really?
Who were illustrated by Makani, I think. That was her name on Tumblr. I don't know. Like, it was years ago. I don't know if she still goes by that name. Help there. From this panel.
Oh, okay.
It's a running gag in the comic series that like the soldier does a neck snap thing. So
it is funny though. I still think that's funny. Okay, so that's okay. That was inspired and influenced and memed. That's straight up with a meme. I still love it. And then this one, which was quite serious, which was like, wow, you do not want to mess around. Now, see, later on, if we get more chance, the next session, it would be cool to just add like just darkness to the back, like just black somehow. I mean, I don't know how we highlighted everything else against it. You're the awesome artist that knows what I do not know, but that's cool. I mean, so that's really neat. This has Phil Folio vibe. Yeah.
What?
Phil Folio, who does like the Caro, is it like Gadget Girl or whatever? There's like it's an artist who does a bunch of like steampunk, but like anime steampunk, Girl Genius. Yes, that's it. Things. And is big with like gamer stuff. But Girl Genius is, I think, one that they're their own best for. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to check it out, that does remind me a little bit of that. I still am going with Cute Combat. I still think that's the vibe that we want as Cute Combat. So yeah, the moving, the altering thing. You should do it in one of those little things that, you know how like they sell these things for cheap, where like when you hold it one way, it looks like one thing, and you hold it the other way. You know,
holographic image, I think is what it's called.
Something, it might be called that. Yeah, you can actually see it like change in front of you. But these are awesome though. And next week we will wrap this book. And we will be moving on to another one. So, or next month, I mean, not next week, next month. Next week, we're going to see Terry back here for Adventures of Middle Earth, which will be cool. So,
yes.
Terry, this was great. Thank you as always. Where can the fine people find you on the internet, and tell them about your commission stuff again?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram and on Reddit at TariToons. And where you can like see my art and stuff. And currently I specifically have commissions open for heraldic art. So if you need anything like that, or like not just like me emblazoning already existing arms, also if you want arms designed for you, which also is a thing I do, I can also do that for you. And yes, just message me somewhere where you can find me.
Very cool. And I mean, you know, if you've marveled at Terry's skill over this, then you can have that marvel working for you in a commission context. And you'll see that
I have to say I'm more of a DC gal rather than Marvel. But
if you want a DC at the, you know, like exactly. Yeah, from what I've heard, the new Wonder Woman. Have you seen Wonder Woman 84?
No, because they have not released it over here.
Okay, because I've heard that it's a little.
I
mixed
don't want to know.
reviews.
No.
All right, I've heard mixed reviews. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
I like going into things blind.
Completely blind. Well, I've also heard a lot of people who liked it a lot. So it was very controversial. So we'll see how you feel about that. But they said there were a lot of, you know, great moments too. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it comes down. It'll be interesting. Can you finish doing that for me, Terry? Doing which? What? Doing this one, Dragon? Doing this drawing you're talking about?
Oh shit, that is right. Yeah. I'm gonna like restart that one though, because when I did start that, it was digital. And digital art I currently only do during these live streams because it fucks with my arm, which I don't like. So but yeah.
I gotta get you figure out a way to do the webcam setup where we can have the webcam looking down, because it would be so much better for your arm. I keep forgetting
to tell my boyfriend to bring his camera along. So
yeah. We should totally do that. Or, you know, I should see about
like, first of all, let me go get the gear that I already have available and then work from there.
Okay, good. Yeah. Tell me, but make sure you let me know when you, like, not when. Make sure that, you know, I'm going to check back with you basically next week and see how you're progressed in getting gear. Okay, because I want to know what gear you have.
Yeah, remind me like on Friday.
Okay.
To remind my boyfriend that he has to bring along the camera.
Terry about webcam. Okay, good. I will do that. Cool. So I am going to then let Terry go and thank her as always. These are always a lot of fun. And Terry, I'm going to see you next week for Adventures of Middle Earth as we come back to Erebor Adventures for the first time in 2021.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. So thank you, Terry. Can we get some love in chat for the amazing TariToons and her work on Conan in this case. But thank you, Terry. Great stuff as always.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
soon. Yeah. Bye. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff, everybody. This was enjoyable, and I'm glad that we got a chance to play more of this. And again, next month, we will wrap this up, and then we will move back into something different. In case people are curious, because I'm very seriously considering going back into fighting fantasy, because we've done a lot outside of it since then. And I think the one we would do next is... let's see. Yeah, the last one we did is Star Strider. So the next one up is this, which is this one, which is Phantoms of Fear, and by a guy named Robin Waterfield. And the premise of this is that you're a wood elf, but in this world, wood elves have very powerful what's called dream magic, and it allows you to cast spells basically through the dream world that can affect the actual real world that we're dealing with. And so that is kind of the premise of what we're looking at too. Oh yeah, we've done a lot of them. Like these have all been great. I have no complaints about any of this. Like honestly, we're not going to do another one, but we're going to do one of these. That's fine. We did one Car Wars book. That's fine. We did a bunch of the Lone Wolf books. Those were great. We did the Tolkien books. Those were great. So I have no complaints. We're doing fine on these, honestly. We did the Sagard the Barbarian ones. Those were great. So we've done these fine. So, but anyway, so yeah, this kind of like, so you're able to take spells that affect like the dream world. And the other nice thing about these books is that Arvbot, or I should say the Sorcery Project, was specifically set up. If you look at it, it was specifically set up, stamina, skill, luck, etc., to run a book like this. You can modify it for these other game books, but it's not perfect. And this one is more sort of in that ballpark. So we will be able to do this. I think that's what we're going to do next time is we'll return to the Fighting Fantasy books and we will see how those go. But yeah, so we will do one more month of this. And this probably won't even take the whole session, I don't think. So we might even get started with the other one depending on when. Otherwise, we'll definitely start it no later than March. And we will move into that next one. So, but this has been great today, and I want to thank everyone who jumped on board today. I want to thank, of course, most of all, TariToons, and I want to thank all of you lovely people. And let me just double check here, because I don't think we're starting with... if you have come in, by the way, and you haven't yet done so, please boost the stream if you can. Please do the channel boost thing. That's not at all. Forget that. Ignore that. Cancel, ignore that. That is not a functional link. We're not doing that yet. I was checking the calendar literally so I could see when we're doing that. But I think nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month are next week. Yeah. So we're doing nominations for Chat Chosen Game of the Month next week. The week after is the final vote. And then the week after that, Tuesday the 26th, is going to be the Patreon fueled Chat Chosen Game of the Month as well. Yeah, I'll come back to the voting in Georgia thing in just a minute. On the schedule, by the way, I should note that the schedule is now pretty set. There are only two exceptions to that. The first exception is that it looks like Esper Genesis, for the second Esper Genesis session, is going to be shifted from where I originally put it on Friday the 22nd to Friday the 29th. And all that means is that we just change when I'm doing Sorcery 3, The Seven Serpents, which is definitively not railroaded, and Esper Genesis sponsored by Alligator Alley. So those two just get reversed. That looks like it's going to happen. The other one that's going to be a change is it looks like our vocalists for this month and probably the next two sessions looks like it'll be on a Thursday night instead of a Tuesday night. And the reason is because Little Red Dot has a paid like campaign like commitment thing, gaming commitment thing that she's got on Tuesday evenings for the next 12 weeks, 3 months. So I figured that we might as well see if we can just reschedule, especially since I'm going to be on sabbatical. It's okay. And I won't be teaching on Thursdays. So basically January, February, and March looks like we're going to do a Thursday night. And so which is okay, as I say. Then after that, we would rotate back to Tuesdays. So I think that's my likely guess is that we're going to be moving our vocalists to Thursday the 21st, but I don't yet have confirmation of that, so I don't know. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty much the same as what's said here. We are on pace for Esper Genesis. The first session of Esper Genesis is going to happen this Friday as normal. Saturday will be more of Inkle's Sorcery 3, The Seven Serpents. I had a great time with that game on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to playing it a couple more times with you folks this month. We have the Speculate Twitch stream of Blades in the Dark. That's going to be on Sunday the 10th. Emberwind is Monday the 11th. We have Tuesday the 12th next week. We have, again, Adventures of Middle-earth Erebor Adventures, more Vaporum Lockdown on Pen and Pixels, and then Paper Mario. And then not our vocalist because I'm moving it, like I said. Wednesday the 13th is Community D&D. The Shadow Crew will make its triumphant return. Rock God, Triffid, Echo, Hoodie, and Shadowed Mage, of course. Friday the 15th, we have more Sorcery 3, The Seven Serpents. Saturday the 16th is the premiere of Palace of the Red Pasha, which is the new high-level campaign with the Infinity and Beyond crew returning to their Tyranny of Dragons characters. Sunday the 17th is Soundclash The Clampdown makes its return. Monday the 18th is Temple of Elemental Evil, more Grumbler's Guide again with Sod. Tuesday the 19th, 2 weeks from now, is again Erebor Adventures, and then we've got D&D with GOG, Storm King's Thunder. That's going to be over on Pen and Pixels. That's in 2 weeks. Then on Friday the 22nd, more Sorcery 3, The Seven Serpents. Saturday the 23rd is the premiere of Metroid Prime, which I'm going to be doing in that every other month slot. So that's going to be cool. Monday the 25th is Emberwind. Again, Tuesday the 26th, so 3 weeks from now, we've got the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. And then on Pen and Pixels, the premiere of Talisman Adventures, which is my new sponsored campaign by Pegasus Spiele of the Talisman tabletop role-playing game, which is a lot of fun. I think you folks will like that. Wednesday the 27th is more Shadow Crew. Friday the 29th is Esper Genesis again. Saturday the 30th is D&D with Infinity Beyond, Palace of the Red Pasha, second session of that. And then Sunday the 31st is Soundclash The Clampdown, wrapping up a busy January month. So that is going to be great. And will it start earlier? Yeah, I'm finally on sabbatical. It is exciting. I think I mentioned this, Brahms, a couple times, but this is going to be the first time since I was 5 that I am not going to be in school in the spring as either a student or a teacher, with one exception. There was 1 year between my master's and PhD where I took a year off and I was working in an electronics boutique. Other than that, for literally 43 years, so 42 out of 43 years, basically, I have been in school in the spring. And this will be the first time that hasn't happened. And I have to admit, I'm looking forward to it because I have family stuff to do. There's the move that we're thinking about, and obviously a bunch of writing things here and there that have to get managed. The Gray Shade Kickstarter, there's a lot of stuff. So, and even a little bit of rest, that crazy thing called rest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great. And Echo, and I'm sorry again to hear about all this stuff that's been going on, especially the PS4, but hang in there, man. Again, this too shall pass is sometimes not helpful, but sometimes it also reminds you that things change and shift. And here, I don't know if this will make you feel better or not, but my mini Arv today came in proudly after coming back from his socially distanced, mostly outdoors school that everybody wears masks the whole time, in case anyone's curious, pre-K. He made this painting. Now, my son's big go-to is making snakes, as he says, except these two are supposed to refer to the family. All of these are apparently daddies. So he brought this into me and he said, yes, Daddy, these are all daddies. So apparently these are all me, or I guess maybe daddies in general. I don't know. But so, yeah. And I was like, I love your colors. He's like, yeah, I did blue and I did yellow and I did orange. He's very proud of himself. So anyway, that was Mini Arv's contribution. So as long as you can have lovely people in the world, I feel like that's something which maybe can keep people's spirits up, I hope. As far as the Kickstarter is concerned for Greyshade, the plan actually was for early February, and we are still on track. I assume for that we might, there might be a little bit of shifting here and there, but between February and March, yes, the Kickstarter is definitely going to be happening within the next couple of months. My hope still is early February, and we're setting it all up and kind of getting our plans together. So it's going to be, but it's going to be a big one for me because there's a lot going with it. The books, obviously, and the tabletop role-playing game, and the board game, and the audiobook by Tren, and there's just a lot to it. So yeah, so that's going to be happening. Need to save money for a coffee table book. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. That series, I think, is going to be something where we'll finally get to see. The book has been published, but it's going to be my original manuscript, edited by John Helfers, and the board game's great, and I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. And that's cool. Hopefully that's going to be great. So, yes. And thank you, Echo, for the rolls. Your roles were incredibly important in making this possible. So thank you, Echo, for making that happen. So, yes, so thank you, everyone, for being a part of this. I'm going to rise up on out of here because in a half hour, I have to go over to GOG, where I'm going to be playing more of Vaporum Lockdown as I'm closing in on the end of that game. I've had a great time with it. I'd love to finish it by next week because then I'm going to be doing 2 tabletop series in a row, and I'd love to have it wrapped if I could do it by then. If you like what you saw and heard, please follow the channel. Check out the YouTube with !ArvTube, Discord with !ArvCord, Twitter with !ArvTweets, website arvanelleron.com, Patreon, shop is !ArvShop, where you can get Infinity and Beyond material and Adventures of Middle-earth material. Patreon right there, !ArvTreon, which again gets you cool stuff and also cool stuff for the channel, including inspirations for the players in my many tabletop campaigns that I run. And of course, ! And then the sub button, which allows you to subscribe to the channel and get those custom sub badges and emotes and things like that. All of that is very much appreciated as well. Last on the publishing side, ! Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel, from Mathis Arts, ! Library for Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book, already out in digital, coming in print, just being shipped. That's all. It's like in the US, just it's being shipped to its various places. So, and ! Greyshade KS for the aforementioned Kickstarter for Greyshade, which is coming up very, very soon. Also remember, ! BLM, Black Lives Matter. Again, it's very important to assert and affirm the significance and importance of Black lives. And ! Help Now, which is our suicide prevention. Again, very important to make this happen. Please, ! Help Now, to both reach out to those who need help or to reach out yourself. Very important that we keep as many lights as we can around us, because those lights can brighten and become something even greater. So let us contribute to the light and not the darkness. Please check that out for more support about that. Lastly, as Echo mentioned, very importantly, if you live in the state of Georgia, go out and vote. You can vote now. The polls are still open. Vote now. Vote for the 2 Democrats who are running for Senate. If both Democrats win, the Senate control will pass to the Democrats. That means that the Democrats would have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and that will help a lot in terms of advancing an agenda, not just within the United States, but also of the sort of sanity worldwide. Even if the Democrats don't pull this out, for the rest of the world, we have a sane person entering as the president, and you will notice a lot of things changing on the American side towards reinvesting in the world in a positive way instead of just doing whatever the hell we were doing for the last 4 years. But it'll be a hell of a lot better if we get Democratic Senate control as well. So hang in there. So the U.S. has an outsized importance. And I wish it didn't, frankly, because I often admire other countries more than I admire my own. But I think that the U.S. has a significant role to play, and we want to make sure that it is the best possible in making that role. So hang in there. If you're in Georgia, vote. Otherwise, everybody, please hang in there. In the world at large, let's continue to reach out to each other. We're moving into a new stage here. Let's just keep hanging together as long as we can. Thank you for my wonderful mods, Dragonspear, Trifity Mets, Echo Alpha, Dragonspear and Trifity Mets. Thank you to my subscribers. That's where I saw Echo's name pop up. Dragonspear, Trifity Mets, Echo Alpha X5, Nonstop, Brahms, and Mrs. Dunsel, and Uncle Elias. Special thanks to Echo for being awesome roller guy today. Thank you, Echo. Thank you to my wonderful viewers as well. Abba Costello, another TT viewer, Bing Cortana, Black Fury, Casino Thanks, Commander Root, Danger Mind, _, Disco Sleaze, ECAG, Electrical Longboard, totally not a bot, Extra More, Eye Shield, Galadriel Bot, totally not a bot, or run by anybody, Geester, Gigafrost, Gorgar, Italyara, Let's Do This Music, Okaran, TariToons, Tauntoms, U Christensen, V&K, Virgo Praz, and Yasemi. And if any of you have not done so already, please boost the channel one more time. It means that we may close in on being able to get the channel boosted. Maybe somehow an extra stream may be able to pop in from someone. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not likely, but who knows? Maybe. So anyway, please consider doing that as fake news. Yeah. Make sure that you do that, because that would be cool if you could possibly boost using those channel points. That's it. Galadriel's 100% elf. That's it for me. I'll see you folks over at GOG. Thank you so much. And thanks again to Terry for her amazing illustrations. And I will see all you lovely people over at GOG in a little less than a half hour for some Vaporum Lockdown. Till then, everyone be good to each other. Bye for now.